You stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
From Iowa Speedway, the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series is ready to swoop in on the Hawkeye State. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Newton, Iowa. We're back and better than ever from a week of road racing on the left coast, and these drivers are eager to get rolling on the 7/8 mile oval you see before you. Our top 8 in points all stay the same this week, but Ethan Ball is quietly creeping in on Nick Hansen for that 6th position in this championship standings. Tonight, we're ready to see who can keep themselves from being irate in Iowa and who can dig their way through traffic and onto the podium in primetime right here on Monday Night NASCAR. I'm Dave Regal alongside my fresh out-of-the-box partner, Mr. Ashley Ellison, on his maiden voyage with Sim Racing Media, and we're here in the Tony Trapassa Memorial booth, and as always, we're thrilled to be with you every step of the way. From the green flag to the checkered flag, right here on Sim Racing Media. And folks, glad to have everybody in with us tonight. Qualifying underway. Thank you for welcoming us into your homes, onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. As always, Dave Regal here with you, the voice of Monday Night NASCAR. Ashley, welcome in, and thanks for joining us here on your maiden voyage.
Thank you for having me, Dave. I'm really looking forward to this. This is a new opportunity for me. I'm used to being in the seat, and now I'm in the booth getting to watch all the action on the outside. You guys at home are in for a treat. Iowa puts on, in my opinion, one of the best races ever. You'll see cars 3 wide, 4 wide, cars bouncing off the wall, slide jobs, all kinds of stuff. You guys are in for a treat.
Yeah, a treat is sure to be around tonight. I mean, this is a pretty good racetrack. It falls into the short track category, of course, being just less than a mile. I mean, it's only an eighth mile less than that full mile, but it is what it is. Right now, as we stand here during qualifying, about halfway through qualifying, 79 degrees in the stands if you're watching from the bleachers here in Newton, Iowa. 105 degrees the asphalt temperature. So it's going to be slick and slippery here for a little while. Once you get over that 105 degree mark, Ash, that's usually when you start to see some of these cars really loosen up.
Oh, yes, most certainly. The track doesn't have any type of grip whatsoever. You're going to see drivers pedaling it, using a lot of throttle control, maybe getting on the brakes to keep the wheel spin down as they're applying the throttle, all kinds of stuff. It's going to be challenging for these guys.
We were talking about it a little while ago. Here is Ethan Ball from Princeton, West Virginia. He's out here on his qualifying effort on the first lap. Now, we're going to see him kind of stay a little bit higher than usual. That's going to be enough to get some heat into these tires and, of course, get the car wound up and some of that oil really slipping through the engine as he crosses the start-finish line. First lap going to net him 35th position. Now we're going to see him really start to hug that yellow line here at the bottom.
Yes, these guys are really pushing their cars to the max. As you see, he's off the throttle right now, rolls through the center of the corner, starts to apply the gas, gets up right near the fence, and that should be a pretty decent lap for him.
Decent lap for sure. Ethan Ball just went 6th fastest on the timing line, so obviously he's got something fancy here under the hood of the number 96 Chevrolet Camaro. So he's going to be one to watch tonight. Of course, Parker Retzlaff sitting pole position right now. Of course, he didn't have such a great weekend here at Iowa. As a matter of fact, he finished 32nd after qualifying 13th. He only scored 5 points and had some electrical issues. So kind of a rough finish for Parker as he sits 16th right now in the Xfinity Series standings. So creeping his way up in the real-life standings is Parker. Let's take a look at our standings here on Sim Racing Media for the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. Brandon Minto still sits atop the pile from Norman, Oklahoma. He's followed by Eugenio Alonso and Mike McConville out of Cape May, New Jersey. So a little bit closer to you, buddy, down there in Delmar. And Eugenio Alonso, 42 points away from that race lead, or from that points lead. So, you know, championship standings here overall starting to get a little bit convoluted. A couple of ties, though, with Claude Ferlin and Alexander Gangler tied for 9th position. Chris Claude and Sam Bolin tied for 15th position. So there's still a lot of decisions that are going to have to be made as we get deeper into the season.
Absolutely. Everybody's going to have to race smart that's at the front of the pack, and people that are towards the back in the point standings are going to have to be more aggressive.
And, I mean, we do have quite a while before the playoffs start. I mean, you know, we've got New Hampshire next week and Nashville Super Speedway following that, you know, and most of the summer to go before the playoffs actually start September 30th here. And, of course, that's the round of 12. So some of these drivers aren't even getting, you know, that we see on this opening screen, not even going to make it into the playoffs. Of course, right near the cut line right now would be Zach Osborne and Tony Burke. Chris Claude, you know, trying to work his way up there and stay ahead of Sam Bolin. But for a lot of these drivers, there's going to be, you know, many questions to answer before we get through the summer, especially as, you know, the playoffs are going to be looming in the next few weeks. John Wilco out of McAdoo, Pennsylvania. We see him here in the number 62. Check this guy out, 40th on the first lap. Let's see how he finishes. Wilco goes from 40th to 40th. That's not going to be enough to get him into the field tonight. Of course, 46 drivers in the field, it looks. and only enough for 38 drivers in the field. So that's going to create an interesting cut line tonight as well. And, you know, Ash, this is one of those things where we've talked about it over the last several years in this league alone, you know, that here it is, a random Monday night in June, and we have more than a full field. That's impressive in almost any level of iRacing.
Yeah, that's definitely insane. Seems like a very committed group of guys here that are all battling for those top 38 spots.
Well, if they're not committed to the race, they should be committed to the mental institution. That's for sure. Spider Mike 61 saying hello, Dave. Hey, Spider Mike, good to see you tonight. Michigan Rocker cheering on Brandon Minto and the one, saying that Brandon Minto is number one. Keep up the good work. And Ahmed Altalaf says, Dave, what's going on, boss? Listen here, Ahmed. Not a whole lot. It's Monday night, so you know what it is. Right here on Sim Racing Media. We're going to get a quick shot here to take a look at our qualifying results. Parker Retzlaff going to be starting up here in P1. He's got Mike McConville, of course, his teammate there in the Jordan Anderson Racing stable there, going to be starting on the inside of row 2. Bennett Allen's going to be starting on the outside of row 2. There's a lot of big names here, and here's where the cut line is going to be as we go deeper here. There's Dan Morgan. Oop. Dan Morgan is going to be the last driver to squeak in here as the warm-up session is underway. Let's see if we can get a hold of Parker Retzlaff. And first I got to find him out on the racetrack. There we go. Hey, Parker, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Hey, man, listen, you sit on the pole here tonight at Iowa. You had a rough weekend, you know, finishing 32nd. What's going to be your strategy tonight, you know, translating what you learned on Saturday to tonight here on Monday?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you can, you know, really translate because we're at the old Iowa. You know, they haven't done the repave yet. I think I like this Iowa better than the repave, but I have a good car tonight, and I'm going to just try and make sure I make it to the end, unlike Charlotte in this league, and hopefully have a good night.
Yeah, now I saw on NASCAR.com that your reasoning was electrical on Saturday. What was going on with the car, and what did it, you know, do for you there?
Yeah, I mean, we had an electrical fire that burnt all the power wires and started the dash on fire, so that was the end of our day.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't catch the race on Saturday. I literally was logged in tonight just reading through the news and caught that. I mean, that's got to be a little bit nerve-wracking. Thank goodness you don't have that problem in the sim.
Yeah, I mean, it's my first time ever kind of dealing with that fire, and it's definitely not something to mess around with. So happy to get out and I'll be okay.
Yeah, and of course, we're happy to have you here in Monday Night NASCAR. Good luck tonight. You're going to be starting from the pole. And, hey, listen, if it's anything like your other performances here, I'm sure we're going to be talking to you later on this evening. So thanks for your time. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Going to move him back on up here into the JAR-TCR chat. There he goes. Of course, that is real-life Xfinity driver Parker Retzlaff as he's going to drive the number 5 tonight. We're going to chat here with my boy Mikey Mack out of Cape May, New Jersey. Mikey Mack, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me?
What's up, Dave? How we doing, buddy?
Buddy, listen, I got somebody on for their maiden voyage tonight, so we got to be nice to him. But it turns out that he's got a soft spot in his heart for our Phillies.
I mean, that's all right.
The real question is for this guy, because he's from down toward Delaware, is it Royal Farms or is it Wawa?
I mean, there is
Wawa.
only Wawa.
Wawa, for sure.
I already like this guy.
Look, obviously he knows where to find the coffee.
Oh, there ain't no competition for that.
I love this man already.
Right? Listen, Mike, you know, you come in tonight with a full head of steam. I mean, kind of a rough – everybody has a rough performance on road courses from time to time. But you come in with a full head of steam tonight. You're up here running P3 in the standings. What's going to be the strategy tonight getting around this short track?
Right now, it's follow the 2 real-world drivers that are in front of me, in Parker and Austin, and follow them until the last few laps, and then show them what us sim boys can actually do.
Oh, here we go, talking at you know what I mean?
There you go.
All right,
There
buddy.
you go. You got to tell them what's up.
All right, buddy. Well,
Yep.
listen, good luck tonight. And, of course, I'm always pulling for my boy from South Jersey.
Appreciate you. Hey, Parker may be on the legit pole, quote unquote, but I'm on the real pole. I got no real experience at this racetrack.
Listen, that's your teammate, brother. You go ahead and duke it out with him.
We love Parker in this house.
All right, man. Listen, and we love you, too, up here in the SRM broadcast booth. Good luck tonight.
Appreciate you, brother. Hope to be talking to you a lot tonight.
Always. As we move him back on up there. So, you know, it's just that easy, Ash. I mean, here we are getting ready. We're talking to real-life drivers. We're talking to real-life, sim racers. And these guys are all on a level playing field tonight. As the warm-up is finishing, that means that we'll be getting ready to go green flag racing in just a moment. I want to thank everybody for tuning in as pre-race is wrapping up. And here we get ready as we wait for the warm-up stats to get out of the way. There it is. Going to be Parker Retzlaff and Austin Green on the front row. We're waiting for everybody to hop into their cars tonight. As let's just go ahead and drop down here onto pit road. Waiting for Parker Retzlaff and Austin Green to get into their racing machines. There's Mikey Mack hopping into the old one machine. And Parker Retzlaff, he's going to lead us to the green flag. He'll be joined by Austin Green on the front row. Mike McConville out of Cape May, New Jersey, starts on the inside of row number 2 with Bennett Allen out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, the 2022 SNN Xfinity Series champion. Noah Hamilton starts on the inside of row number 3, joined by Aaron Mack, while Ethan Ball and Gabriel Lafreniere going to occupy row number 4. Row 5 and rounding out the starting top 10 is Brockton Packard out of Zephyrilus, Florida, and Zach Osborne out of Claremont rounding out the top 10. Sylvain Jolie and Bobby Blazer out of York, Pennsylvania start in row number 6 with Eugenio Alonso and Claude Ferland in row 7. Row 8 featuring Dennis Mickelson from Seleinlander. He's going to be here alongside Nick Hansen in the 99. Row 8 going to be Daniel Moynihan and Rabbi Ben-Garrity here from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with Will Young and Rich Jett out of Schwenksville, PA, starting in row number 9. Brandon Minto, our points leader from Norman, Oklahoma, and Chris Claude way back here in row 10 with Will Young and Diego Rodriguez in row 11. Keith Black and Ron Fitting start in row 12 with Michael Witt and Randall Watkins, Mr. 305, my brother from another mother, from down there in Miami-Dade's Fire and Rescue Department, going to be starting in 27th. Corey Burkett and Zach Vaughn starting in row 14 with Logan Giesbrecht and Steve Herring in row 15. Row 16 is John Wilco out of McAdoo, Pennsylvania, with Matt Mackin from Cleveland, Ohio, while Richard Pruitt, Anthony Savignano, Tony Burt, and Sam Boleyn going to be starting shotgun on the field tonight. As we get ready to cross the start-finish line, looks like they did add the extra lap in for us tonight. It's going to be an interesting race, Ash, as you're here on your maiden voyage. 250 total laps the scheduled distance tonight, 75 laps to the end of Stage 1. Stage 2 going to end at the conclusion of lap number 150. Five total tire sets tonight, so they'll be laying 4, starting 5 as we get ready to be underway.
And I'm super pumped up. This is going to be awesome. You guys are in for a treat at home. Thank you guys for tuning in as we get ready to take the green.
We are ready to take the green as the iRacing.com pace car works its way into turns 3 and 4 here. All the drivers getting themselves all set up here. Make sure those gloves are nice and tight. The belts are all snug. As the iRacing.com pace car makes the hard left turn down pit road, the only thing that's left to do is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab an ear of corn and settle in. Race fans, it's show time! Parker Retzlaff with a good jump over the rest of the field tonight. He's got Mike McConville and Bennett Allen already strung out behind him. They're looking to go single file, and that's pretty much what we're going to see in the early goings, especially in Stage 1, Ash.
Everybody's going to be saving their equipment. You know, there's no fast repairs. This is as real as it gets. We're just going to sit here and settle in, and hopefully we got a race for y'all to call.
Yeah, Austin Green already down to 38th. He decided that maybe
and we have a caution.
Start, and caution number 1 already. Uh-oh. What's going on here is we've got some flashing Randall Watkins having a problem. Let's watch the 27 as everybody's shuffling around and timing and scoring. Looks like the rear end, that's the cold tire bug as Randall Watkins winds up having a connection issue at the same time as he has the rear end of the car stepping out.
Yeah, man, these first couple laps is going to be really slippery for these guys. As once the tires get heat in them, they'll be able to put the power down and make some moves.
Parker Retzlaff here in the 5 machine. He's going to lead us back to green once again. Now, I had mentioned a moment ago that Austin Green, he was on the front row, all of a sudden dropped back to 36th position in the 57.
Yeah, it could be part of his strategy. There's no fast repair, so he ain't, nobody's got a quick repair waiting in the box. So, it could be part of his strategy, just riding it back for a little while, and hopefully, he'll be able to get back up there and just ride it out.
Some connection issues going on here. If you just bear with me. Just going to try to settle this screen out here. Not sure what's caused that one. Let's see if I can just do this. Now you're going to lose, just so that you know, Ash, of course, folks, peeling back the curtain a little bit here on Sim Racing Media, Ash is on his maiden voyage here. So he's basically kind of flying with absolutely no net underneath him, that's for sure. So I've got to change some of what he can see on his end. Right now, you just lost all of your graphics for the time being. As these 38 cars that are out here on the racetrack are a lot for any graphics card to try to draw all of at the same time, especially when they get out of line. It's like trying to herd cats, really.
Yeah, that's why these guys, they spend millions of dollars on their rigs, and they got the best of the best equipment, that's for sure. Because this game is definitely graphically demanding, and it's something that you can't cheap out on, in my opinion.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, my computer's a couple of years old now, and, it's starting to show its age, and I basically beat the bejesus out of it week in and week out here on Sim Racing Media. Thank goodness it's a tax write-off.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can get some donations from the chat and the viewers so we can get upgrades for the broadcast.
Jack Down Motorsports saying, unfortunately, he's unable to be on the track tonight. Hopefully he doesn't fall below 20th in points. So cool to have Parker on the track with us. He was a fan before he joined the league. So it's even cooler to have him here with us. There's Uncle Scott. He's saying that Brandon Minto has some work to do, and that's for sure. Listen, I'll tell you about the legend of Uncle Scott. And Young Camel saying, FNG, Bobby Blazer versus Dan Moynihan. Who will win? Young Camel, listen, at this point, it's anybody's guess. So let me tell you about Uncle Scott, Ash. So Uncle Scott was kind of this fable. Our points leader, Brandon Minto, has an Uncle Scott. Him and Uncle Scott, during these races, Uncle Scott watches us every week, are knocking back the Miller Lights. And we had heard about Uncle Scott, every time, he was on the podium or winning a race, Brandon always makes sure to tip the hat to Uncle Scott. And for like 2 years, I had yet to cross his path in the YouTube.com live chat. All I was thinking was, here's this guy, that I hear so much about as we go back green flag racing with Parker Retzlaff stepping away already from Mike McConville. Here's this guy that I have yet to really meet and find out about. And all of a sudden, he shows up in the live chat one night. Uncle Scott, tipping back the Miller Lights. He is a legend here on Monday Night NASCAR.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Uncle Scott.
As we work lap number 8 of 250, Parker Retzlaff now leading Mike McConville. Everybody getting themselves single-filed. It's starting to get a little dicey back here in and around the 45 of Noah Hamilton. You can see Hamilton here taking a little bit of a higher line as he allows the 96 of Ethan Ball underneath.
And it definitely looks like he's riding, just trying to save his tires. I'm not too sure how the tire saving works. I've heard two different things, that the top, definitely saves tires better than the bottom. But I'm not 100% sure on that. Maybe Parker or somebody can help get that straight for the fans.
Tire saving at every racetrack simply has to do with the way that each driver drives. I mean, there are some guys who are out here beating the brakes off of their car, and then there are other guys who are out here saving everything. And somehow, you might have one guy who goes, oh, yeah, I wasn't trying to tire save, and he's, making that tank of fuel last the entire run. And at the same time, then you have another guy who goes, oh, yeah, I was really trying to baby the tires, and he's running out of gas at the end of the race. As we look here to the 96 of Ethan Ball, he works just underneath the 63 of Brockton Packard. Parker Retzlaff leading the race here with laying the fast time down to 24.3, and he's already just about 0.6 of a second ahead of Mike McConville.
It's definitely starting to get into his rhythm, and he's hitting his marks. And these guys got to step it up if they want to have anything for him. It looks like.
We're going to take a moment here and go inside the cockpit of Parker Retzlaff, and we can see that he's definitely driving a loose race car, but obviously loose is fast. We know that. As he works here on lap number 13, let's listen to him roll the corner. You can see that he's kind of bump steering his way through turn 2, stepping out, almost having to turn right to go left. Obviously, if you've got some experience in the real-life machine, you know how to handle this thing here in the sim world.
Absolutely. They say that this is as close as you can get to driving a real car.
Well, I've said for years that iRacing and really sim racing overall is one of the few esports that you can truly immerse yourself to a level that is similar to that of the real world. You can play Madden and you can play MLB The Show, but you're not swinging a baseball bat and you're not throwing a football. But here in the sim racing world, as we look at Sylvain Joly working the inside now of Nick Hansen, as Hansen is being mbopped back here into 12th position. As we go under caution, Steve Herring registering as having crashed. We'll take a peek at that. But, in the sim world, you can build yourself, as Tony Burt does, a real ARCA car in his garage.
Yeah, you can definitely immerse yourself in anything. I mean, there's people that have, rigs that, look like the cars that they're going to be driving or, want to race one day. And it's an experience for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah, and, we'll get a chance to talk to, well, there's just a lot of cars that are registering as having crashed, even though they didn't, as right now the processor trying to keep up with everything. But Tony Burt, driver of the number 4 Chevrolet Camaro out of Hodgesville, West Virginia. Tony Burt has himself an ARCA car in his garage, man. And, I mean, he's got his monitors surrounding the windshield. Of course, Jack Dow Motorsports does the same thing. He's got a quarter-size NASCAR simulator that he also has his monitors surrounding. These guys really do build almost real race cars.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, if you're going to do it, you might as well go all the way with it.
Folks, you'll have to forgive us here with the flashing. It's just 38 cars is a lot for anything to I'm going to reload that, I promise. Here it comes. 38 cars is a lot for any computer to draw all at once, and here we go. They're starting to already bark in the they're already barking in the race chat about the blinking. And a cheers from Uncle Scott there, saying go Minto, always glad. Cheers to you, sir. And Naughty XLX Wolf, yes, I know it's blinking, can't control it. It's trying to draw 38 cars. It's like herding squirrels.
Looks like we had a couple guys come down and pit.
And for you guys that are driving on the racetrack and that can hear me, if you've got the race on here, yes, we know it's blinking. We're trying to get it to subside, but it's 38 cars.
Okay. I appreciate it. Yeah. Is that killing it for everybody? Okay, I got you.
The iRacing.com pace car leading us through turns 3 and 4, comes out of 4, makes the hard left turn down pit road. Mike McConville with control of the race. He hits the Geico restart zone, drops the hammer, and away we go. Trying to see what happened with Parker Retzlaff here, as it seems like he has dropped way back, all the way into 31st. He came in on lap number 16 for a pit stop. And Mike McConville going to stay out ahead of everyone else for the time being, as he's going to set pace ahead of Gabriel Lafreniere in the number 16 Oxmoor Chevrolet Camaro.
Alrighty, I'm just kind of here chilling.
22 laps in the books. I had to disconnect my broadcast partner for the time being, so we don't have any more flashing. We were sharing a screen, and it's all right. Alan Bergen ready to slide in here and save the day as Aaron Mack, driver the number 31, he's going to get just behind Mike McConville. We're going to go on board with Aaron Mack out of Fort Riley, Kansas. He looks to the inside of Gabriel Lafreniere. Lafreniere ready to go side by side with Aaron Mack down the front chute and gets a run on McConville, and all of a sudden our neighbor from the north, Gabriel Lafreniere, takes over the race lead from St. Jude, as now he starts to run away from Mike McConville. McConville still looking to use that low line that he's obviously gotten accustomed to here at Iowa, but unfortunately it looks like Gabriel Lafreniere may be running away for the time being. Brockton Packard running back in 4th position. He's trying to hold off the 16 of Zach Osborne and the 90 of Bobby Blazer out of York, Pennsylvania. The 96 of Ethan Ball running in 8th position right now. He qualified 7th as we work lap number 25, about a third of the way through stage number 1. Gabriel Lafreniere, your race leader. Bobby Blazer here in 6th. We see another battle starting to brew, and here is Daniel Moynihan. Speaking of brewing, he's got that Duncan Midnight running through his veins, as he's got the number 53 Ford Mustang cranked up to crazy here with 50 to go in stage number 1. He's on the high side of Anthony Savignano, and Diego Rodriguez registering as having crashed, and we go under caution for the 3rd time tonight. Let's see what happens with Diego here in the 34. He catches a little bit of a love tap there from the 4 of Tony Burt, and boom goes the proverbial dynamite for Diego Rodriguez. So that's going to shuffle some things around. Once again, That'll leave your race leader to be Gabriel Lafreniere, Aaron Mack running in the 31, Mikey Mack in third position.
I do.
Yeah, I'm sitting
Ladies
here
and
back in the
gentlemen, we
booth.
want to welcome in Alan Bergen, who's sharing a screen here for my broadcast partner, Ashley Ellison, who's on his maiden voyage here, and unfortunately, due to technical issues, he was not able to get the stream on his own, so Alan came in to save the day once again here on Sim Racing Media. And I'll tell you what, when it comes to behind the scenes, technical support, and of course, all of the admin stuff that takes some logistics skills, Alan Bergen, I might talk crap about him 6 days a week, but today is the 7th day where I take a rest and tip my cap to this man who pours everything he's got into SRM.
Well, hey, look, glad to be here, and from the looks of it, it looks like we got an instant battle going, or an instant classic going on here. Parker Ratzliff has been one of those drivers I've watched many a Mondays with you, Dave, where he is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be fast, and I'm excited to see if he can come back up through the field and challenge for a win.
Well, Parker is one of those guys where, we get excited because he's a real-life race car driver, and here he is hanging out with a bunch of rubes with computers, But this is a guy who came from the sim world, goes into the real world, and now is still giving back to the iRacing community. And this league here, to me, they've earned the right to have real-life race car drivers in this series. They've put a lot of time in, and over the years, we've had some really incredible guys. Ricky Carmichael has run with us. Oh, my goodness, who else? Let's see, Daytona 500 champion. Oh, Trevor Bain's been with us. I mean, just some really cool people over the years. And actually, Trevor Bain and Ricky Carmichael were some really cool people. You don't think that you don't really want to meet your celebrity idol, but I feel like racing is a very down-to-earth sport when it comes to that.
Yes, most definitely. As long as you don't catch them while they're working on their car, you'll be fine. I've learned that the hard way a few different times.
Listen, you can be at a racetrack and using the urinal and standing next to a driver. Been there,
Yeah,
done that.
That doesn't seem like the time for conversation.
No, that's the awkward part. You don't know if you want to say something, or like, how's it hanging? Like, you don't want to ask that question of a race car driver while he's standing at the urinal.
Ain't that the truth?
Also, do
Definitely
not look
don't
down.
wanna
It's
do that.
very awkward.
Oh,
Goodness gravy.
That's what we call a twofer here in this booth when I can get both of you.
Oh, good God.
we
Welcome,
made it a half a lap.
welcome to the big show. Da-da-da, da-da-da.
Oh,
Do you know
man.
why they called it the Big Show? Back when Keith Olbermann and Dan Patrick were on the 11 o'clock Sports Center?
'Cause it was the only show in town.
No, even worse. ESPN just wanted talking heads there reading teleprompters. They didn't want to have, this is the prime time 11 o'clock Sports Center. This is just another episode, another edition of Sports Center. Welcome in, everybody. We're going to read the Sports Center news. And Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann thought that this was ridiculous. So Olbermann just started with, welcome to the Big Show. It's also a tip of the cap to Ed Sullivan. It's a really big show. Gabriel Lafreniere going to have control of the field. The iRacing.com pace car leading us here just past the entrance to pit road, makes the hard left turn. Gabriel Lafreniere comes into the Geico restart zone, waits to the gap in the words, and here we go on lap 31.
Up through the gearbox and down into the first turn goes Gabriel Lafreniere, and he's got the number 16 of Zach Osborne right into. They worked their way down the back straightaway.
He's able to open up our length and a half. Oh, we have another caution.
Hey, look, it's-
searching. This can't be but good. There's Diego Rodriguez registering as having crashed. Let's see what happened with Diego. And it's even scarier when you know that there's really good race car. Of course, that was a connection issue. Let's see if Nick Hansen can give us a little mbop here. Nope, he disappears too. Thanks, iRacing. We love our subscription fee every couple of years.
I pay mine yearly.
I think I'm good for another 2. You know what? That's a good question since I'm here. I know I've got plenty of time left as we do have another connection issue. Of course, this is mostly due to the fine folks at Xfinity. Thanks.
I mean, look, I'd rather have my crappy Spectrum than 10G.
That's fair. I'm getting really sick of Xfinity. Keep in mind,
Hey, just
the only
another-
reason that I use Xfinity is because I have to have baseball.
That is.
I mean, look, Ashley, I'm going to tell you a secret. As long as you don't root for the Cardinals, you're in good shape, or drink Anheuser-Busch products.
No, this young man here is from just about Delaware, and quite frankly, he's like baseball bisexual. Orioles and the Phillies.
I can't get over hearing it. Oh man!
Oh boy.
Only if the fans at home could understand that inside joke.
That is what it is. Let's see here with the old subscription. Yeah, I'm good until August of next year.
I'm good until April of next year. April 22nd, to be exact.
Looks like August 9th.
But I tell you what, I tell you someone else who's good right now, and that's Gabriel Lafreniere, sitting there high, wide, and handsome under this 4th caution. And Dave, I would be remiss to say we're not even halfway through that first stage yet.
Yeah, we're almost at halfway through the first stage here. Lap number 35. Gabriel Lafreniere leading the way with Zach Osborne in the 16. Austin Green running in 3rd position. Bobby Blazer, Claude Ferlin, Daniel Moynihan, Bennett Allen, Sylvain Joly, Dennis Mickelson, and Rabbi Bangarity rounding out your top 10. Of course, I don't even know if he's actually Jewish. Funny, he doesn't look Jewish.
Ask him how he is with money.
I
That's
mean,
fair.
He's spending money on iRacing. It's clear that he has no restrictor plate. This is everybody's guilty pleasure, which, quite frankly, I think I'd rather spend money on iRacing instead of meth.
Ain't that the truth?
I mean, nobody likes blue teeth.
I mean, look, just come down to Jefferson County, Missouri. We got plenty of it.
I'm good. I saw what happened down there. I'm good.
The occasional explosion.
I feel like pace laps at this particular racetrack are absurdly long. Last night, it felt like as soon as... I mean, you worked with me last night, Alan. I feel like last night's pace laps were nothing compared to this.
I feel like they're crawling for a certain reason.
Same speed. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, clear the black flag. Let's go.
Well, that's the funny thing, actually. They don't clear black flags. That is NASCAR rules. It's like watching the real thing.
Yeah,
There's no faster
If you
pair.
want to challenge the black flag, you've got to go to the NASCAR hauler after the race.
Denied. Just kidding.
Only when the Frances are in charge. I just caught a clip, and I'll have to find it and share it again on Discord, of Mario Andretti on the Dale Jr. download talking about his Indy 500 win that was gifted to him because of a black flag and then taken away because the IndyCar series overturned the decision that gave him the win. The iRacing.com pace car dips on down pit road. Gabriel Lafreniere controls the field, comes through the restart zone, waits quite a while, but all of a sudden drops the hammer, and here we go. They fan out behind him like a bunch of battle planes here. My God.
They are 3x3 right there around 10th, 12th, 13th. These guys are racing like it's the last lap.
That's the kind of thing that's going to keep breeding caution. So everybody's got to get themselves single file and try to be more strung out than the line at a meth clinic.
And we have another.
That's for sure. Here we go again. Caution number 5, and we're not even out of stage 1.
Cautions breed cautions.
Monday Night NASCAR, sponsored by the color yellow.
The color yellow and the letter wow as the 01 just gets tapped and sent down.
Oh. 34 made heavy contact.
He did, unfortunately. Let's see if we can maybe do this once more here. Whoa, timing and scoring just did all kinds of cool stuff. It almost went to plaid as we're going to go right here to the rear of Matt Mackin. Here's Packard just behind Mackin, giving him the pump. Oh.
God, what a shot.
Anybody want to make him a chiropractic appointment?
If anything, he's definitely got to go see the osteotherapist.
Let's hope he ain't got a motion simulator, because that one looked like it hurt.
If he has a motion simulator, it's not going to be a chiropractor. It's going to be a proctologist. He just had a piston go right up in his...
Oh, goodness gravy.
I do like gravy. You don't get a body this large without a bunch of it.
Especially if you get some buttered bread. Buttered bread with some gravy. Or some roast beef.
I do like the roast beef sandwich.
You damn straight.
I really like the purple crystal light. It's from Walmart brand. It's pretty nice. Got it at Target.
Oh man, that's like one of my favorite movies.
I know people don't like the grape drink or the purple drink, as the Chappelle Show would have called it, but I'm telling you right now, you load up a big frosty cup of this with a pile of ice in it, and it's just delicious. It doesn't even have liquor in it.
Heck no. Makes you wonder who's gonna get up on the grape soda.
Grape soda and vodka is delicious. But it's got to be grape knee-high.
Grape knee-high?
It was a featured drink like back in the 50s, and you can get it online. If you watch the TV show MASH, that was Radar O'Reilly's favorite drink.
Oh man, it's been a long time since I've seen that TV show. Yeah, my grandfather used to watch that.
Well, you say it's been a long time. For me, it's been since Sunday. Oh, wait, that was yesterday.
It's okay. You're only a couple hours sober, you know?
MASH was the telltale sign that I had to go to bed.
That's fair. I mean, when I was a kid, no. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you how I got into this show. So my best friend was a MASH fanatic when we were in junior high and high school, and we would go down to the local convenience store, load up on, me, by the way, fat guy here in training, a quart of milk, a half dozen donuts, right? And like some other snacky stuff, right? Go back to his house and watch MASH until like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Good
It was on.
Lord.
He had the DVD sets when they were just becoming fancy.
What kind of donuts? That's a key question.
It's this company out of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. It's called Dutch Made. And they've got these donuts that are just deep fried and then filled with cream, and it's just plain, it's delicious. It's basically diabetic coma in a box.
That sounds heavenly.
It is if you're
Love being a
it
good
is if you're
donut.
diabetic. You're going to see Jesus. That's for sure.
Well, it'd be the way to go out.
That is true. As we take a look here, it looks like Logan Giesbrecht. It's funny. We have one guy who's from Sauerland, and then Logan Giesbrecht, who sounds like he should be from the Sauerland. But this guy's from Rockwood, Ontario. Who is it from the Rhineland? Oh, wait a second. No.
He's from nowhere.
No, I gotta find him.
Nick Hansen sounds like the fourth Hansen brother.
He might be. I'm pretty sure the Hansen brothers aren't.
Mbappe anytime soon.
Nope. Where in the world we have somebody? Is it Sam Boleyn? No. Keith Black? I'm gonna find him later. It'll be at a very inconvenient. Here it is. Dennis Mikkelsen. He is Sauerlander.
iRacing.com pace car pulls off. We are back to the Geico zone and going green as we speak. Coming back to action. 3 wide.
Good Lord.
The 65, the meat in that sandwich, quickly going double file right in front of the 5 of Parker Retzlaff. Now, Retzlaff gets himself lined up once again. He's going to hold steady here on lap number 45. 30 to go here in stage number 1. Hopefully we can finally get ourselves a good green flag run going as Mikkelsen from Sauerland, he is running in 9th position. Rabbi Ben-Garrity, oh, that's awkward, runs the 65 on the high side of Parker Retzlaff in the 5. This is quite a knot of cars right here. We can see it from above. Right now, Sylvain Joly in the 08 Axon LED Ford Mustang holding the low line just underneath 2022 champion Bennett Allen, who now holds the high side over top.
Yeah, Bennett Allen
These guys
running
are going at it.
Well, I was going to say Bennett Allen is up there running a high side where Mama hides the cookies. But here comes that 25 car of Mikkelsen, and he's trying to make a run too.
The 25 of Mikkelsen looking for any place that he can be as he now gets a run here on the 08. Take a look at this, Ash, as he gets ready to run in here on the rear bumper of Sylvain Joly.
There we go. We got the nose cam. All right, let's see. He's going to go down into turn 1. Off the gas big time, but is able to make a run on the bottom, about half a car off the yellow line. Gets back to the throttle and is putting the power down and goes off into turn 3. Runs the middle that time. Interesting. But
and you heard him kind of had to back out of the throttle because he almost caught the rear of the 08. And, you know, that's one of the things that we see in this league time and time again. Drivers being conscious enough to look up above them and realize, hey, if I get on the throttle and stay on it, I'm going to wind up in the door of the 08. As they go fender to fender, here does the 15 and the 43 of Claude Ferland. Claude here running in the Axon LED Ford Mustang. He's doing the same thing as his teammate, Sylvain Joly. They're going to stay pretty close, you know, stuck together like glue, Ash. I mean, I know that you don't get to see, that you haven't got a chance to see this league yet. But those guys from north of the border, they stick together like it's molasses.
well, you got to race around the crowd that you're most familiar with. I mean, once you get racing with people enough, you know who you kind of can predict who's going to do what and where this guy's going to go. And I know I can back out of the corner a little early without getting run over. So it's definitely a good strategy for them to be running together because you learn what each other is going to do, and then you can start picking apart mistakes.
Ron Fitting battling it out here with the 07 of Corey Birkin on the high side. The United Rentals Ford Mustang trying to get right behind Chris Claude, who runs an 18th position right now. Claude right now running, let's see, +6, so he started 24th tonight as he's got to, you know, kind of work his way up through the field. I mean, you know, he had that week off last week for vacation, but now it's time to get back to work here in the 10 as we work lap number 53, so less than 20 to go here in stage 1. Drivers finally getting themselves into a good rhythm here. Many of these drivers haven't even come down pit road yet. I mean, literally our top 5. Then, of course, Bennett Allen came down on lap 3, made a couple of adjustments. 7th and 8th still have yet to come down pit road. Parker Retzlaff came down on 16, with Dennis Mickelson here in the top 10 also not coming down pit road. Anthony Savignano and Eugenio Alonso each came down on 33 and 34, respectively, as did Alexander Gangler on lap 33.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of strategies being played. Who can jump who at this point? Sometimes you got to get a little off strategy to capitalize on the others.
Now, Alan, you and I spent a lot of time last night watching these guys duke it out in the Cup Series. What do you think is the difference between the Cup and the Xfinity Series when it comes to some of this competition?
Well, the cars are definitely going to start getting tighter over the course of a run, as where the Cup cars got a little bit looser with a little more grip. We're racing in the middle of the daytime tonight, as we were racing in the evening time last night. So track temp, humidity, and the weather. So right now it's 67% relative humidity with a 109 degree track temperature and an 80 degree day. So like track temperature and the humidity, those are two numbers that I'm watching out for.
Yeah, over the course of this event, the track temp has increased 3 or 4 degrees, and then, which makes a difference. You definitely notice that when you're behind the wheel of one of these machines.
Yeah, and to your point, these cars are going to tighten up. Austin Green, though, he just got himself around. Gabriel Lafreniere is there, going to battle it out for the lead. Here's Austin Green now. No sponsor here on the 57, so let's get some paint on that car, guys. Make sure that we can reach out to our local sponsors and see who can put their paint on the side there of the 57. Ahmed, no, I'm not from New Jersey. I'm from just outside the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I'm on this side of the bridge. And unfortunately, that's the reason that 2 cars there, the 16 and the 16. This 16 that we see here in the middle of your screen, that's Gabriel Lafreniere. He's supposed to be the 06, but his paint scheme is showing the 16.
Yeah. Sometimes trading paint can get a little wonky.
Casey 757 says that diabetes is a fear of his. He wants to be able to eat and drink what he wants. Deep respect to those who have it and manage it. My dad, my dad's diabetic. He's been diabetic since about 2005, and a few years ago he went literally off his meds and started going to the gym 6 days a week. Now the man does not take his insulin. He lost a ton of weight and is basically a normal human being again. And he still takes good care of it. He watches it with his monitor, so on and so forth. But he went from diabetic, having to take his insulin all the time, to I'm fine, no problem.
It reminds me of that documentary called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead.
That's how I feel on a Saturday morning. That's the story of the night before. That could be the subtitle of The Hangover. And to Ahmed's question here, he wants to know what my cheesesteak place in Philly is. It's actually not in Philly at all. It's just about a half hour outside the city. It's a place called Pudge's Steaks. And let me tell you, Pudge's makes one heck of a cheesesteak. And, of course, I'm a large cheesesteak consumer. And I get ketchup, mayonnaise, onions, and banana peppers on that bad boy, and I'll house that thing.
I'll get everything but the mayonnaise.
Young Camel used to be at 31st and Thompson. I know where that is in the city, and I'll tell you what. When you're from New Jersey or Philadelphia, if you say, like, for instance, I'm from here in Norristown, I'll tell you what. Wow. Steve's in the Northeast. I'll tell you what, Trina's not wrong. Steve's is not bad. I've been there. It's delicious. If somebody says, "Oh, I'm from Philly," they want to know where you're from, and somehow you give them the intersection nearest to where you grew up or where you live. If you're from Jersey, it's what exit? Like for me, my favorite exit in New Jersey is 7S. That's the one that takes you to Wildwood on 47.
See, mine
Oh.
mine would be off of 295, exit 14, because that'll take me to the racetrack. That'll take me to Bridgeport Speedway.
Attaboy.
And well, you know, out here in the
Camel was
Midwest.
working up here in Plymouth meeting. All right. All of a sudden, we got all kind of people coming out of the woodwork. Plymouth meeting. I work over in East Norriton, so it's right next door.
So here, to your guys' point, here in the Midwest, when you ask someone from Missouri where they're from, they just say, "Well, we're from St. Louis." And if you live out near Kansas City, so we're from Kansas City. They don't actually mention the town that you're from.
See, and I have yet to be in the Midwest. That's on my bucket list. I'll have to come down to St. Louis and visit you. Ahmed
We are
says,
about to
Ahmed's asking if I've ever been to Tom's River. As a matter of fact, I have. Years and years ago, I was working third shift at Toys R Hale, and my buddy and I were off one night, and we're sitting around trying to figure out what to do. I mean, we were working third shift, and it was our night off. And we were both wide awake as all of a sudden the 77 of Rich Jet in the mix-up here as he goes down a lap. He's going to be passed by Green, Lafreniere, Allen, and now Retzlaff, as Retzlaff on the recovery drive runs P4. So Tom's River back in the day was where our quote-unquote nearest White Castle was. It's right there on Route 9 off of a jug handle. Go figure, it's New Jersey and a jug handle. But it's right on Route 9, and we drove over literally in the middle of the night to get a crave case. And we're standing in the parking lot, and we're like, so what do we do now? We've gotten our White Castle. Now what? We wound up driving to Atlantic City, and some sordid things happened in that town, and it was a fun night.
Yeah, Atlantic City's the place to be if you're looking for a good time. That's what I heard. That's what I heard, at least.
That's what you heard? Friend told you?
That's what I heard. Yeah, a friend told me.
I'm a fan. You know what? People talk smack about Atlantic City, and believe me, I get it. It's not what it used to be when I was a kid. But, I mean, especially because when I was a kid, of course, half that town was owned by a certain somebody. As Austin Green leads this race, followed by Gabriel Lafreniere, Bennett Allen, and Parker Retzlaff, all of a sudden we have a four-way battle here for the lead, and Parker Retzlaff is driving the 5 through the 15 underneath. They're all but ready to go fender to fender, and here's the thing. All of a sudden, a rub of the wall from the 15. That's going to cost
Could
him.
have been disastrous for him.
You don't want to be the guy that ricochets off the wall and into the professional NASCAR driver.
Yeah, no, you don't.
I mean,
is
what's
gonna
the
get
worst
good.
thing gonna do?
We got a 4-car battle with 2 to go left in the stage.
You know, and it's funny, Ahmed's here saying that we had a Harold and Kumar situation. It was almost like that, except that we were just a bunch of goofy kids from the country that were just trying to figure out what to do for the night.
I think we discussed that last night, Dave.
Yeah, I don't know how we wound up on that last night, but we did. And you said the exact same thing as Ahmed did.
I mean, look, Harold and Kumar went. Well, they lived in Jersey, but still, it was a good movie. If
I
you
think
know,
I
you
told
know.
you last night, but I never saw it.
You gotta watch it.
Three wide. Yeah, that was definitely going to get interesting right there. I was kind of wish there was a little more laps because I want to see it getting a little more interesting. I can't wait till the end of this thing. This is going to be wild.
Well, you know what? We're going to see a lot of race lead changes here. I mean, and maybe that's almost what makes it exciting because, I mean, Retzlaff dropped all the way back to 31st and just drove up to 4th position. So, a lot of these drivers, I've always wondered, because I was never the driver up front, do you think every now and then when you know that you've got the talent and the setup to get through these races, if it's just more fun to come from the back because at least you get to do a little bit of racing besides logging laps up at the front?
I think that depends on who you ask. Some guys don't like being around other people because, especially if you're not used to racing with that crowd, it can get a little unpredictable and it could ruin your night.
Austin Green going to have to come all the way down pit road around the bend here, all but in turn number 1, as we can see Daniel Moynihan getting himself set up to step into the box here. Here comes the 57 around the corner. He pulls into box number 2. Parker Retzlaff pulls into box 1. As the 57 going to get his pit service. Let's see if we can get a hold of him. And, of course, now I can't get a hold of the 57.
It's like the 16 is off first to pit road. It looks like we had somebody stay out. It looks like we had the
that's
8.
Gangler again.
What lap did he pit on?
He didn't.
What was his last stop? He hasn't pitted yet? Ooh.
Gangler came in on 33. This is to what Alan usually says. Alan will say something to the effect of, well, this is Alexander Gangler doing Alexander Gangler things. This is Alexander Gangler doing Alexander Gangler things. He's going to start up here. We're going to see him drop the hammer and all of a sudden get gobbled up by like 38 other drivers.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting move.
I usually call it boneheaded.
He disappeared. Oh, he's back.
I mean, I think whenever drivers like myself and Alexander Gangler pull moves like this, it makes Dave have amnesia.
No, it's more like having an aneurysm.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be a sitting duck here. He's got little over, I don't know, math isn't my strong suit, so over 30 laps for sure on his tires. Definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, right now, looks like, well, this is strange.
That's showing he has not pitted yet.
Well, it's showing that it's wrong because he last pitted on 33. Everybody else came in on 77, but not Big Rock, Illinois' favorite driver. It's kind of, and you know what, Alan, to your point, yeah, it's the exact same emotion that I feel when I see you stay out on the racetrack. There are times where I wish I could reach through the computer like a cartoon character, grab your wheel, and drag you into the pit. I mean, let's be real, folks. You've got Parker Retzlaff and Austin Green, both drivers with real-world experience. Parker obviously having real-world Iowa experience. He comes down pit road. What makes you think, sitting in a pair of gym shorts and socks, that you're going to outsmart a professional race car driver? I'll wait.
To be fair, I missed pit road Thursday night, so I had no choice.
Yeah, you could miss the broadside of a barn in an open field.
Like he's going to take the top here for this restart.
Folks, you wouldn't be able to tell it from my gentle prodding here of my broadcast partner, but I love this dude. I mean, listen, Alan came in earlier this year, late last year, right?
Yes, November.
Yeah, November last year, and has just absolutely nestled himself into our sim racing media family, and is like, never mind, I can't even say it on the air. But I'll mute my microphone and you can listen to the guys laugh.
Question is, does he use a spoon or a straw?
Oh, he's a straw guy.
Oh,
Alexander
that's the
Gangler
way to
takes
go.
the green flag here at the beginning of stage 2 and suddenly runs away from the field. He must have heard me talking smack. Nope,
Whoa,
never mind. Here he
what?
is stepping out. There it is. Oh,
Oh,
no,
there goes Bennett Allen.
there goes Bennett.
Oh, they make it through there.
Bennett was definitely in at that time.
We should be getting a yellow here.
Everybody
leave.
went down to the apron, and the caution flag stays in the holster.
Oh, man. Well, I guess that's what happens when you stay out on, 40-lap old tires.
Yeah, remember that time that I said this wasn't a good idea? That was a good time, right?
That's one of those Homer Simpson dope moments.
Oh, I might try to use that later.
Well, right
Robert
now.
Lafreniere suddenly going window net to window net with the 57.
Whoa!
Oh, they
they're
made
wrecking.
contact, and it sends Lafreniere
They're
down.
wrecking.
Like, oh my God, look at him go!
They're rocking.
That should be a caution.
This is racing. The heck it should be. He stays down on the apron, and we stay green flag racing. Another one bites the dust as Austin Green assumes the race lead, setting the fast time down at 24.01, 1/100th of a second away from being sub 24 seconds for a lap.
I would
Wow.
love to hear that guy's hot mic.
Who, Lafreniere?
Yeah, I want to see what he's got to say.
You couldn't understand it. He speaks French.
Oh,
I'm
Yeah,
waiting
who
for the
doesn't?
Olympus
got a
House.
Google Translator.
Oh, well, that's fair.
We gotta. Well, hey, if nobody could understand what he's saying, then you can't, you'd have no clue what he says.
All I can picture is that when he gets mad, he must sound like Ricky Ricardo when Ricky Ricardo used to break into Spanish during I Love Lucy. Lucy, I don't know what you about. Yeah, it's like that. It's got to be. Gangler has slid back into 15th position, just ahead of Nick Hansen, who he thought 3 wide and then stays to the low side of Gangler. He's going to follow our Okie Finoki Brandon Minto here in the 12 machine out of Norman, Oklahoma. Want to welcome everybody into the YouTube.com live chat. Make sure that you subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. We're working our way toward 4,000 subscribers on Sim Racing Media. We'll talk about that and a lot more after the break. I'm Dave Regal.
I'm Ashley Ellis.
Are, of course, Ashley Ellison and Alan Bergen here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go away. We'll go NASCAR side by side.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends.
This is
Feel the
iRacing.
thrill behind the wheel.
Detailed laser
Visit
scan tracks,
iRacing.com.
fully dynamic, real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to
We have-
Iowa Speedway, where Austin Green and Parker Retzlaff are atop the pile. They've got Anthony Savignano running P3. Austin Green and Parker Retzlaff kind of exchanging positions as Green started on the outside of row 1. And, of course, Parker Retzlaff had the pole position tonight. They've now exchanged those positions with Parker running in P2, Austin running in P1. As we work lap number 93 tonight, Dave Regal alongside Ashley Ellison and Alan Bergen here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth just outside the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as we are here at Newton, Iowa, watching the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series.
What a race it's been so far. Austin Green has basically been right there dominating. Kind of like Dylan Banks last night, but here comes Parker Ratzliff on that inside line, making the inside work. And it's an absolute drag race going down this back straightaway.
Wherever he puts that car, it is going. This is fun to watch.
Yeah, this is absolutely a blast to watch. I mean, Parker just takes the lead away from Austin Green now. Now a little Texas two-step here as Green looks to the inside. Now they exchange positions, nearly going 3 wide with Diego Rodriguez.
Oh, it gives him a
They
bump.
are literally just polka dancing, doing the two-step down the backstretch.
Oh, man.
Everybody should have a favorite polka.
Well, hey, as you say that, here comes Anthony Saviano. He's up 34 positions. He's getting into the mix, looking to make it 3 wide.
I mean, contact.
Look, you don't take the professional NASCAR driver 3 wide either.
No, because they're going to make you eat your teeth. There's a reason that these guys do it for a living, and why Anthony Savignano has copied a paint scheme from another team. That's not a cheap shot. That's just facts. Now Parker Retzliff takes the lead back from Austin Green. Now Austin Green's going to take the lead back from Parker. They're literally just twirling around the racetrack to make it interesting.
All right. Ooh, there we go.
Something hot, gets a little tight. Has to chase it up the racetrack. But they managed to stay clean.
And that's the thing, is you can't do that. You got to be careful and conscious.
They're rubbing.
Hey, Rubbin's racing.
I've heard that a time or two.
I've seen that on a certain movie a time or two.
Parker Retzliff looking back here at Austin Green and Anthony Savignano. Now he's got Savignano on the low side. He's got Green on the high side. And maybe Green has decided that it's time to fall into line behind the Pied Piper of Newton, Iowa, Parker Retzliff, as he works the 5 car here on lap 100.
Oh, here we go. It's about to get real good. You know, and that might have been the smart move for Austin Green to let Parker Retzliff go and just to kind of ride back in line.
Yeah, he's saving his stuff now. It looks like he's preparing for the longer run of this stage.
And speaking of which, we're 50 laps away from the conclusion of stage number 2. Everything nice and easy right now. Which, to be fair, is not a bad thing after we just had a stage 1 that was littered with, let's just say, crappy driving and badly timed cautions.
Yeah, sometimes you get those, though.
You know what? It happens, and it's mental mistakes that cause these things. We've all done it. We've all made those mistakes on the racetrack, and nobody's immune to it. You know, I think that's the one thing that always kills me when I'm listening to race radio, here in my headset, and I'm thinking, they're really ragging on somebody who's just out here trying to do the best that they possibly can. To me, first of all, you're being really disrespectful to your fellow drivers by beating them up like that. I mean, I can poke at them from here in the broadcast booth, but I also know that these guys would serve me lunch in about 2 seconds. There's a reason that I came off the racetrack and crawled into the broadcast booth ashamedly.
This is definitely a neat experience. Did you get to see so much more?
Well, it's a neat experience because Alan showed up. He's our special boy.
Well, speaking of showing up, have you checked and seen how many subscribers we have now? We're at 3.97. So, Ashley, I don't know if you know this or not, but we kind of have a little deal going on here at Sim Racing Media, to where we upped the ante last night, and we pushed it to the end of the regular season on the Stacey Strong SNN Cup Series. But here's the deal. If we hit 4,000 subscribers by that race, or before, I'm drinking an ice-cold Yingling. Now, if we don't, Dave cracks open an ice cold Budweiser on the air.
Ooh. I take
See,
it you guys
look,
don't like
another
either
one
one
who
of those.
subscribes to my thoughts.
I mean, that's you guys. So Alan's drinking a beer that you like, and you're drinking a beer that Alan likes.
No, Alan's going to drink a beer, and I'm going to drink urine water.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're drinking Budweiser. You could at least get like a Busch latte or something.
A Busch latte?
Yeah.
Don't just stop. No. No. Don't give me that one. That's a loaded gun.
That's all.
No, here it comes. How pathetic does your beer company have to be that you're selling latte that's marketed as beer? No. That's not beer. That's a malt beverage. You know what a malt beverage is? For those of us that remember back in the days of the good old-fashioned 40, Hurricane, Old English, Bud Ice.
Ew.
Those are the things that the winos put in a paper bag and go drink underneath the Ben Franklin Bridge.
Oh my gosh.
You don't see that under the L at Kensington and Allegheny. I mean, to be fair, at Kensington and Allegheny, you pretty much just see heroin everywhere. But still.
What Ashley just said is almost as good as what our esteemed partner Daniel Paulus Jr. said at a road course.
Hey, you know
fill me
what?
in on
Let's see if we can test Ashley's, racing knowledge, shall we say. Hey, Ash, when's a good time to draft at a road course?
Down the front straightaway. You got to maximize your speed any way you can. Especially on a long straight. You'll see that. See, we worked on that when we ran the 24 hours in the Daytona.
Alan?
Swear to God, the draft
Alan?
makes a difference.
You don't draft
He's
on a
doing the
road
thing.
course.
No, yes you do on the straightaways.
You do that.
You can bump draft.
So here's the story. So our broadcast partner Daniel Paulus. This is season 2 of the Racers Elite Cup Series, and Dave Regal is on the call at the Chicago Street Course, and there is a YouTube clip of this. Go back and watch that race, and they're coming down. I want to say it wasn't Michigan Avenue. It was by the fountain, the same fountain where the opening credits for Married with Children are filmed. And Daniel Paulus Jr. tells Dave that the 15 can side draft. He can get a run in the corner. And it's Dave's little buddy, or not, it's Daniel Paulus Jr.'s friend trying out also. And Daniel Paulus took a beating that night from Dave verbally after saying those words.
To be
he
fair,
don't side draft at a road course.
I had a blood alcohol content off the chart at that point. And my brain short-circuited. I thought I actually knew what it was like to have a stroke. I smelled burnt toast at that point.
Good Lord. That's one of those smells that you just can't get out of your head. Burnt toast. You know, there's people that like burnt toast.
Parker Retzlaff doing Parker Retzlaff type things. Austin Green running P2. We got a little
forgot there was a race going on. Well, I take it that the 8 of that guy that stayed out, I can't think of his name right now. Lord forgive me.
That's Alexander
That's
Gangler.
Alexander Gangler, former race control extraordinaire from Big Rock, Illinois.
Well, he has officially gone a lap down.
Everybody raise your hand if you're surprised. Oh, wait, this is an audio medium. Just kidding. The Michigan Rocker is calling out Colt 45. Oh, my God. Listen,
Colt
I had a
45 and
very,
two
very
zigzags.
bad experience with Colt 45 when I was about, I shouldn't have been drinking. Let's just say we had an older friend who was over 21, and we sent him with money to the beer distributor. Go get us beer, right? So
And that's
he
what we
comes
got.
back with Colt 45. I was looking forward to lager. I wanted Yingling. I wanted to, drink something normal. And this dude came back with like $60 worth of Colt 45.
Ew.
Do
Hold
you know
on.
how much
Did
Colt
he-
45 that is?
That's a lot.
It
That's
was
a lot.
enough that one of us wound up hurling our lunch out the barn window where we were.
I have one question to that story. Did he bring 2 zigzags with him?
No. No. What he should have brought was 2 puke bags.
Yeah, Colt 45, man. If you drink that stuff, there's something wrong with you.
Colt 45 is brewed with the floor sweepings of bad beer. It's like marsh wheeling cigars.
You're speaking a different language to me.
I mean, it's not as bad as the old beast.
That's fair. I mean, my grandfather used to smoke marsh wheeling cigars like it was going out of style. And the worst part is, I like a good Philly blunt, but not that kind of blunt. Like, I like the actual cigar, right? Oh, contact between the 89 and the 65. They quickly, whoa! Easy there, big fella. Don't take out your race leader. Hey, that was dangerous. I like a nice, every now and then, like a cheap cigar, a good Philly
Yeah.
blunt. But of course, when I buy these darn things, people are like, oh, you're about to roll up? No! I just wanted a cheap cigar. God forbid. Of course, it's been an incredibly long time since I've had one. In fact, I can't remember the last time I had one. Mostly because I'm ashamed.
Well, maybe in 2025 when I go to Miami, we'll have to go get you some good cigars.
I've already got I already found a place last year when we were there. I know where I'm going. And they have a stamp on them.
Ooh.
Cuba.
Whoa, easy there, big fella. Let's not talk about possibly,
The race cars. I mean, Tab is definitely in a league of his own right now. He's got 1.3 seconds over Green. And Green's stuck behind lap traffic. You know this has got to be irritating him.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like
Oddly enough,
watching.
checking in from Charlottesville, Pennsylvania is my dad, who wants to let us know that he's got tonight's decision is instead of he's checking in on us, but he's got 15-year-old bourbon, racing / baseball, and a Cuban cigar.
Ooh, that is a great choice for all three of those.
Yeah, the old man knows what he's doing sometimes.
65 starting to wiggle a little bit.
The 65 doing
moving up.
everything he can right now to hold himself steady, and he's kind of in a scary position right now. That's Rabbi Ben Garrity, who's down a lap. He would be the third in line a lap down. Tony Burt would be your lucky dog if a caution came out now. Let's hope that it doesn't, though, because we've had a great stage 2 right now. 23 to go this time by at the line as Parker Retzlaff has started to gap Austin Green by 1.6 seconds. Anthony Savignano running in third. Daniel Moynihan has gotten the Duncan machine up here into fourth position. Sylvain Joly has the 08 running in fifth position. And Claude Ferlin, Aaron Mack, Ethan Ball, Brockton Packard, and Brandon Minto round out your top 10. Daniel Moynihan running on that Duncan midnight here. He's got to be getting a little jittery as he looks to the rearview mirror, and he can see the 08 about 1.8 seconds behind him. As now we're starting to have some of these drivers coming down pit road. All of a sudden, with about 45 to go here. No, I'm sorry. With 22 to go. I can't math. But with 22 to go, we suddenly have green flag pit stops underway.
And it's showing on live timing that Diego Rodriguez has crashed. and then jump to the pits.
Let's see if we can take a look here at that. That may be what caused the flashing here. Here's Diego Rodriguez in the 34. He's got the rear end stepping out. Does a little bit of landscaping and pulls onto almost pit road. And then jumps to the pits, as you had said.
That's an interesting spot to get loose. I mean, he's about a quarter of the way on the straightaway already.
Well, you got to understand the 34 at that point. He's been out there for a long time on those tires as Parker Retzlaff last came down on 77. In fact, everybody here on the lead lap all the way back through Logan Giesbrecht, Bennett Allen, Matt Mackin, and Mike McConville all came down on 77.
That's absolutely insane. Parker Retzlaff, let's talk about him for a minute. At 2.5 seconds almost, back between that's what separates him and Austin Green, and then it's an even bigger gap to Anthony Savignano. So Anthony Savignano is up 34 spots, which tells me it didn't qualify real well, or that was a strategy move for him not to even qualify that well.
There's a lot of drivers who opted not to qualify or to qualify just well enough to keep them in the field tonight. And a lot of that has to do with staying away from some of the mayhem that we've seen since the drop of the green flag.
It's definitely worked for a few people.
Listen, if it works, don't try to fix it.
And some of these guys ran it like a restrictor plate race, where you just ride around in the back and then just kind of make your move with about 15, 20 to go.
Well, and you know what? Sometimes starting from the back and trying to stay away from the mayhem pays off. And obviously, even after dropping back to 31st, here he is, Parker Retzlaff, leading us through the backstretch one more time here on lap 135. Austin Green, whoa, they're sideways. This might cause the caution to come out.
Not yet.
Nope.
Nope. The 16 is in trouble. That's the other 16.
We'll take that.
I mean, Parker is just, the way it looks is he's backing up his corner a little bit, and he's just allowing the car to roll. And he's making great speed by doing that.
Well, and you can generate a lot of speed here. In fact, we'll pull up the dashboard right now. You can get a lot of good speed here, even on an old set of tires, as Parker Retzlaff is rolling down the backstretch at 150 miles per hour. You can see it right where he's almost trail braking himself through, letting the car rotate itself freely through 3 and 4. Back out onto the front stretch, 148, 54, 55, almost 157 going into turn 1.
Yeah, he's definitely moving, but he's also taking care of his stuff. It's like he knows what he's doing.
Gee, he should be a professional race car driver.
Yeah, he should. He's got a great knack for it.
Austin Green running in P2. Dennis Mickelson and Ron Fitting, they're here in what kind of looks like it's about to be a hornet's nest. 4 in a row on the high side. The 99 of Nick Hansen runs the low side. We can see the 25 of Dennis Mickelson from Zeeland. He is here. I'm never going to get tired of that. I'm very German Sosa's, but good Lord. Oh, contact between Hansen and that's Brandon Minto there in the 12. And all of a sudden, the 25 of Mickelson looks to maybe take it 3 wide and try to split this war on 2 fronts. Well, that's kind of what somebody else did, and it didn't work out for him in World War II, just saying.
Well, there you have Ron Fitting back there in that 14th spot, and now we have our 7th caution.
This is the first caution of stage 2 with 10 laps to go here in the stage. As I'm trying to get this thing moving here.
Sure
and here comes the screaming on race radio. And the F-bombs go a-flying. Let's see what happened here with Sylvain Joly. We're going to look from above. He sees John Wilco here just behind him. Maybe the crash. It happened with Moynihan here.
He didn't have enough time to react.
I mean,
Let's see
he was
if I
committed to his move.
Let's see if we can do this a little bit faster. Here comes Moynihan, makes contact with Eugenio. Oh.
He was the meat in the middle.
He definitely was. My goodness. Let's take another look at this. Perhaps from the blimp this time. Actually, I think we had the chopper nearby.
Is Matt Meller flying the chopper again? Man.
I mean, we'll call it flying, but there's Eugenio up high, and Eugenio just keeps coming down. And it just looks like maybe two cars tried to occupy the same space and time, and it didn't work out. Oh!
Oh, man, that's a shot and a half, buddy.
Yeah, that's
No,
just
he
after you
just
catch
came
your
in
breath,
there.
and all of a sudden you've got, you know, your lungs coming outside of your chest cavity.
We need to make sure he's okay in the infield care center. Well, some of these
143
guys-
laps in the books as caution has been triggered once again. Nobody coming down pit road as we know that we're just about 7 laps this time by to hit the stage break. 7 cautions total, 5 for cause tonight, including, 6 for cause tonight, including this one here. Dave Regal, Alan Bergen, and of course our new teammate here, Ashley Ellison, in the Sim Racing Media broadcast booth. Want to welcome everybody in tonight to the youtube.com live chat. Let us know who you're pulling for and what you're watching. Young Camel says, no, the internet cut, and this is what I come back to. Yeah, that's what you got, Young Camel.
That's just a, fast forward through the good parts or the bad parts. Looks like we had a few people stay out and try to take track position and get some stage points here.
Well, and that puts Claude Ferland here up on the race lead for the time being. We're going to look back and see where Parker Retzlaff was. He was just leading the race. He drops back to 13th. We know that he's got the car that can drive back to the front. We've seen that already. So Retzlaff and Green each come down, as well as Ron Fitting, Randall Watkins, and Daniel Moynihan in the 53.
Well, I tell you what, these guys are going to wait till the end of the stage to come down pit road before they go ahead and use another set of Dr. Feelgoods. But some of these guys are hoping that they don't turn into Dr. Feelbads in the next 6 to 5 laps.
Well, there's enough of them that stayed out, and I don't know if Parker is going to have enough time to drive past 12 cars.
He's not worried about winning the stage. He wants to win the race.
Exactly.
Well, we're getting ready to go back. We're getting ready to go back to green here in a couple laps. So, with that being said, these guys are going to get ready to line these cars up 2 by 2 Noah's Ark style. They cross the line. The lights are still on the pace iRacing.com pace car. Barney still has the yellow rag in his hand. There goes a couple wave around cars.
Okay.
And that will cycle Claude Verland back up to the front with Ethan Belters outside. And Ashley, these guys are going to definitely be riding around on what would feel like ice for the next 5 or so laps.
Well, I think they'd rather do it for 5 or less than, 25, 30.
We're not wrong there, but right now we got Claude Ferland on the inside, Ethan Ball on the outside, and it looks like that the lights are out on that iRacing.com pace car. Going to make the hard left turn. Claude Ferland on the button, and we are green, and down and away. Claude Ferlin heads off into turn number 1.
Claude Ferlin
Yeah,
with a
maybe.
good jump over everybody else. 3 to go this time by at the flag stand. Ethan Ball muscling his way past Aaron Mack here in the closing laps of stage number 2. Sylvain Joly running in P4 with Brandon Minto crawling his way up here into the top 5. They go 3 wide just behind him. There's Parker Retzlaff here on the low side. The 83 making contact. Oh, boy. This
That
is
could
going to
have
be a
been good
dicey
match.
end to stage 2.
I think Jolie had a faster pair in the back of their pocket because their car looked phenomenal after that vicious run.
Hey, if you've got the time to take it.
Exactly. Might as well, and it seems.
Oh. You say that, and Austin Green just made a move.
New tires definitely are making a difference.
Yeah, and look, you saying there's no way that Parker Retzlaff could pass 12 cars. Well, guess what, Ashley? He passed
just
12
did it.
cars.
He must have been listening.
Yeah, he said, look what I can do. 23.74 seconds. Only 2 drivers have gotten below that 24-second mark, and it's Parker Retzlaff and Austin Green.
I mean, these guys seem to be even pace. It looks like Green has a very good car on the short run, and Parker, he's just killing them on the long run.
You're not wrong there. But here we are. The 10th car triggers the caution, and Parker Retzlaff wins stage number 2. That's going to be the 8th caution. The 7th, with 7 cautions for cause.
8 caution, no. 6 cautions for cause.
Sorry,
we
we're
have
doing-
2 stage breaks.
Well, I'm sorry, we're doing St. Louis Mets now.
Yeah, you mean St. Louis meth. We're going to wait for Parker Retzlaff to get down onto pit road before we speak with him. We want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight in the youtube.com live chat. Glad to have all of you with us. Pretty good crowd tonight here in the live chat. Anthony Savignano saying, so Eugenio Alonso needs to be investigated. Listen, Ant, I know that you had a rough time with him, and I know that it's been a long night for you, and hopefully they can sort that out in race review.
Definitely. Working lap 152 at the end of the stage, and well, we got wholesale pit stops happening right now.
Wholesale pit
Yep.
stops, and Parker Retzlaff is going to stay out, as well as Austin
Yep.
Green and Ron Fitting. They each came in on 142, so we're going to get a chance now to talk with Parker. Hey, Parker, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got me?
I got you.
Hey, man, listen, you bring home the green and white checkered flag here at the end of stage 2. You came in on 142 for, of course, 4 tires and a tank of fuel. What's going to be the strategy here in stage 3, and how are you going to bring home that checkered flag?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just to get a good restart here and hopefully get clear and then just run consecutive and conservative laps and just save some tires and see when the yellow comes out, or if we're going to do some green flag pit stops. I'm a couple laps short, so I need a little bit of fuel, so hopefully we have a yellow or I will be pitting under green.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you pretty much ran a clinic this last stage here. I mean, you know, you restarted way deep in the field, drove yourself up there to the lead, came in again, came out 13th, and then drove through 12 cars to bring home that stage win. So obviously, you've got the number of this racetrack. You know, the success is sure to follow here as we get deeper into the night. And with that strategy, I feel like you're probably going to be, I think the technical term is friggin' unstoppable.
I'm gonna try. I mean, I definitely know there's a couple of good cars left in this field, so I'm hoping that we can come home with the win.
All right, buddy. Well, listen, good luck the rest of the way. And, of course, tell Mikey Mack I send my love from South Philadelphia.
All right, 10-4.
Mikey Mack, of course, my boy from South Jersey. As we send him back on up there, he gets himself into his own race chat. You know, I appreciate that from some of these guys.
Well, you know, I couldn't help it when you almost said West Philadelphia, and that's where Will Smith was born and raised, is West Philadelphia.
Yeah, he was. You know, and the thing is, at least that neighborhood was kind of nasty. But you know, they also say Kobe Bryant was from Philly, and he was from the suburbs. Oh, he was from Lower Merion. Oh, it's a nice neighborhood. It's a nice place to be from. It's not like he was from K&A. It's not like he was, you know, in South Philly or West Philly.
Oh. That was a good show back in the day.
You know what? There are a lot of good shows that I catch. You know, of course, I'm a big fan of old TV, mostly because that way, if I fall asleep during an episode, I know that I've already seen the episodes that I've slept through. Like right now, I'm working my way through Cheers again.
Ooh,
and
that's a good one.
At the end of Cheers, then I'll move back to MASH. And then at the end of MASH, I'll probably work my way back to Seinfeld. And then recycle all over again.
Now, growing up, I did not like Seinfeld, but as an adult, there's just something, my favorite character would be Kramer.
Yeah, I could see you being Kramer. That's why we're not neighbors.
Kramer makes the show.
He does. Everybody loves Kramer.
Well, right now, Parker Retzlaff is making the show here as we get lined up behind the iRacing.com pace car, 2x2, Noah's Ark style. Getting ready to come back to the green flag racing here on lap 156. They come through the 3-4 complex, and that iRacing.com pace car is going to make that hard left turn just about right now. Parker Retzlaff, Austin Green on the front row. We're riding with Randall Watkins from the 305 here in Miami, and we are back to green flag here in Iowa.
Looks like we had a little game on the restart there.
And
yeah, it was an interesting restart battle here as Randall Watkins looks on from behind. He sees Ron Fitting already making the move to overtake him for P3, and they go 3 wide behind him. There's the 67 of Sam Bolin, the meat in that sandwich as he nearly makes contact with Rabbi Ben-Garrity in the 65. All of a sudden, Zach Vaughn has strapped on the V-plow that we've seen so often this season, and he is ready to push Randall Watkins up to Ron Fitting.
Oh, man.
He's got the big old snowplow on the front of that thing.
Well, look, who doesn't like a can of mellow yellow? Here comes Zachary Vaughn, up to 22 spots in that 5th position. He's on Mr. 305, Randall Watkins' back bumper, and they're 2x2. Here comes the 91 car making another run on the outside.
They are 2x2 as they go.
And here they go 3 wide. Go ahead, Ash.
Yeah, you're good.
That's the 67 of Sam Bolin trying to hold his own here with Bennett Allen on the low side. We can see the 96 of Ethan Ball here on the high side, and like a sitting duck was the 67. All of a sudden, he has gotten himself back into line, and probably not a bad position right now as he runs in P9.
Yeah, sometimes the top 10 run is a win for some guys, especially if they struggle for a couple weeks.
Well, look, and a lot of these guys just come off that road course out there in Sonoma, and you know, so we had 3 different style tracks. We got the road course of Sonoma last week, just under a mile trial hole or D-shaped oval this week, and then next week we go to New Hampshire, and that's one I am excited about.
I've never turned a lap on New Hampshire.
And I know that you're excited about that, Alan, as we work here on lap 162. Less than 90 to go now in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. Ethan Ball working his way on the high side over top of Sam Bolin. We stay green flag racing as Randall Watkins right in the mix of things. He clips the 65. That loosens him up, but we stay green flag racing. Ben Garrity holding the Gorilla Gas 65 as tight as one can. And Randall Watkins slides all the way back to 12th position. Ben Garrity, meanwhile, the young man out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, running in P6, trying to chase down Austin Green and Parker Retzlaff, who are back to exchanging positions atop the pile.
Oh, man. This thing's getting dicey. Here's that number 67 car. Bolin on the inside. Just doesn't have it, actually. Does not have that motor.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't have the momentum that the top side carries.
Ben Garrity now leads the 67 of Sam Bolin here on lap 165. 85 to go here from Iowa Speedway. Dave Riegel, Ashley Ellison, and Alan Bergen with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. Want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Bennett Allen running in P9. Nick Hansen bopping his way up here into P10 as Austin Green is your race leader, and he and Parker Retzlaff just getting ready to exchange positions once again. Here on lap 166, we're going to go up here to our battle for the race lead. Here comes Retzlaff on the high side. He looks to the high side now. He peeks to the low. He dekes around the 57, and they go door handle to door handle into turn one as Retzlaff just blows on by the 57, and there they go, ready to do the Texas two-step coming out of turn two and down the back chute.
Yeah, these guys are swapping lines, trading paint. It's getting good. You'd think it's the last 10 laps already.
Hey, if you're going to watch two guys go at it, it might as well be Parker Retzlaff and Austin Green tonight here on Monday Night NASCAR. Only available on Sim Racing Media. Dave Riegel, the voice of Monday Night NASCAR, joining you as always. And I'll tell you what, the last 3 years, I mean, listen, I was in the playoffs back in 2021 in this league, and it was just when we were starting to go full length for some of the events. And it was almost evident to me even back then that these drivers are more talented than just about anywhere else on the iRacing.com servers, as they are rubbing one another fender to fender on the back chute. Is Retzlaff and Green holding it steady. This is almost some kind of an exercise in fortitude as they work their way on lap 169 headed to 170 here at the line.
And Parker definitely squeezed him down and was able to slow him up so he could still have the clean air.
We're not wrong there, as Austin Green and Parker Retzlaff duke it out here toward the lead. And this is probably the best battle on the track right now, as we are working lap 170, 171, and it's almost like Parker just pulls away from him. Coming back here a little deeper in the field is that 65 car of Ben Garrity and the 62 car of, no, it's a 65 car of Ben Garrity. And the 67 car right behind him giving pursuit.
Mikey McConville from down there in Cape May, New Jersey, gets around Rabbi Ben Garrity in the 65. Here on lap 172, they go door handle to door handle at the line coming into turn number one, and they aren't done yet as Mike McConville looks to the inside, and all of a sudden he's being challenged once again by Garrity coming out of two and down the back chute.
Yeah, Mike McConville riding in that top 10. You know, after, you know, he's had a rough couple of weeks here. He got roughed up at Charlotte. And, well, you know, driver out of Cape May, New Jersey is making a statement here as he's up to that 9th position.
Yeah, I wonder if McConville and Parker are exchanging notes.
Well, you know, here's the thing. Those guys from the JAR TCR stable are always exchanging notes and information. I mean, not a night goes by that they're not, at least somebody's not practicing on the racetrack. And McConville, I know, puts the time in as he builds these setups for JAR TCR. And, you know, sometimes even the greatest of these race car drivers, you know, when they put that setup in, they still find something that changes over the course of a race. And, you know, even for McConville right now running, looks like he's in P9 right now. He's got a lot of work to do to crawl up here to where Ron Fitting is on the podium right now. as Fitting, our second biggest mover of the race. Sam Boland started in 37th, and Ron Fitting started back in 28th, and they currently run 11th and, there it is, 3rd, respectively.
These guys have definitely figured something out. I mean, definitely have passed a lot of cars. As you see McConville running in what is called a diamond line. So he enters in high, cuts it down to the bottom off the exit, allows it to swing back up towards the wall on the straightaway, and is able to carry that momentum. But I wonder if he's burning up the tires.
If there's one thing many of these drivers in this league do very well, it's saving tires. I wouldn't be worried about that in the least.
I'm definitely not.
All of a sudden, Ron Fitting has the 3 into 3rd position as he's welcomed up there by Retzlaff and Green. Bennett Allen, now as we look here from behind Ron Fitting, all over his rear bumper, and Bennett is usually a pretty patient driver, but it looks like he's going to try to make the move now, getting around Fitting here. As he looks to the inside, he swings it high, but not enough momentum to get himself around Fitting.
It changes his line going into 1, runs that diamond line like we were just talking about, is able to pull side by side. Well, maybe not side by side. Now they're side by side, and it looks like he might get clear right here. And
180 laps in the books, 70 to go here in stage number 3 and in this race at Iowa Speedway. Here in the Tony Trapassa Memorial Broadcast booth, I'm Dave Regal, Alan Bergen, and Ashley Ellison with us here tonight on the call in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. When we come back, the finale of this race is we're going to take a break that I'm sure most of you are going to complain about, but it is what it is, as it's been a while since the last one. So we will see you on the other side of the break, but make sure to stay tuned as we go NASCAR side by side.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it. They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As that's still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
No back into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Preen Garden Weed Preventer and Preen Garden Weed Preventer Plus Plant Food block weeds before they start and are safe for use around over 400 flowers, vegetables, trees, and shrubs. Best of all, they give you 3 months of freedom from weeding in just 4 easy steps. You can apply Preen anytime before or during the growing season. But since it's a weed preventer, not a weed killer, early spring is best. Here's how. Start by removing existing weeds and their roots in the area where you want to apply Preen. Sprinkle granules directly onto dry soil, mulch, or stone so that they're evenly spaced. Within 24 hours of applying, integrate the granules into the top layer of soil or mulch or stone-covered bed. Finally, water with a hose or sprinkler, or a well-timed soaking rain to activate the protective weed barrier. When activated, Preen creates an invisible weed-fighting barrier just below the soil surface that targets and prevents weed seeds from sprouting and forming roots. People and pets may enter the treated area once dusts have settled and the area is thoroughly dry from watering or first rain. That's it. Now you'll have a beautiful weed-free space and 3 months to do anything but weeding. Satisfaction guaranteed. Trusted for over 50 years, Preen is America's #1 weed preventer brand with weed preventers for every type of garden.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
So hi, my name's Christy. I am a wife, a mother of 3 children. I am a sister and an aunt of lots of nieces and nephews, and I'm also a substitute teacher. So my everyday life changed by going to appointments, a lot of appointments, a lot of scans. During the treatment, my body just got weaker, so I wasn't as active with my children and with my husband. So I was laying on the couch a lot more. I'm an active person, and so that just didn't sit well with me, but that's how it changed. My body was just weaker, and I couldn't do the things that I used to do. So there was a lady in where I live from a local church who had heard that I had breast cancer, and she sent me a letter just reaching out for support, and she actually said that she's the one that told me about Trisha's Hope and that I should contact them, so I did. So specifically, I wasn't able to really work during my treatment or anything like that. So the grant that I was able to get helped me pay my bills, provide gas money. I was driving to and from treatments, and so it helped a lot with bills and everything. I would just say I am so grateful for Trisha's Hope and for all the people that have donated, because I don't know what I would have done without them.
Welcome back to Iowa Speedway, where Parker Retzlaff, your race leader, is starting to gap Green now, Austin Green, by about 0.2 of a second here on lap 202. Less than 50 to go in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series race right here in Iowa. Dave Regal, Ashley Ellison, and Alan Bergen making a special appearance tonight in the broadcast booth as he came to be our savior. Now, Retzlaff talked about this before we started stage 3, that he's going to have to come down and make one final pit stop for literally a splash of fuel. The question is, if you're coming in for fuel, do you grab tires anyway? If he's going to do that under green, it's going to be just a splash. But if he's going to do this under caution, you might as well grab fresh rubbers.
I agree. If he comes in under green.
Yeah, you like fresh rubbers when you get splashed?
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, you got to be pretty quick on the old uptake there. Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Parker Retzlaff doing Parker Retzlaff thing. And to your point, Dave, yeah, look, everybody's going to do what Parker Retzlaff's going to do. Parker Retzlaff only has real world experience at Iowa Speedway, but he has a ton of virtual experience here at Iowa Speedway. So it's like they're going to do whatever he's going to do. And there's that 99 car. He's trying to get his lap back. Nick Bob Hansen trying to get his lap back. And he's going to do that pretty handily.
Shows you what the fresh rubbers will do.
Well, the other thing I want to point out, too, is Bennett is trying to be in it right now in that number 15 car.
Yeah, the 15 of Bennett Allen, the 2022 Xfinity Series champion, running right now in P3, just ahead of Ron Fitting by about 2.2 seconds. We see another close battle starting to brew back here as Aaron Mack in the 31 looks to the inside of Zachary Vaughn in the 91. So battle of the 81s here as they are just behind Mike McConville in the 1. And Mike McConville would love to get his way up here into that top 3. But unfortunately, just 2 of his teammates up there for the time being. Aaron Mack running here in 9th position just behind Zachary Vaughn.
And these guys are side by side, coming down to the stripe.
Yeah, Zachary Vaughn up 20 spots when we started, running pretty solid in that top 10. Aaron Mack down 2 spots from where he started, still running that top 10. Great run. But here's a name you don't see in the top 10 very often, and that's Chris Claude. Where did he come from, Dave? And how did he get there? We continue to watch the number 91 car. It's this pretty hefty battle against the 31 car of Aaron Mack. And they're coming up on that number 26 car of Eugenio Alonso. Put him a lap down, and Eugenio definitely gets out of the way.
Kind of watching the 91 here on entry. It looks like, I don't know if he's stabbing the brake or, I'm not too sure what he's doing, but it looks like he's skating it. There, and we got a caution.
Caution coming out for the first time here in stage number 3. Daniel Moynihan perhaps taking a ride around the wrong direction as we see him crossing the start-finish line. Now he's going to come in here, and it looks like, yep, the rear end of the car just breaks loose. He manages to keep it off the wall, and he holds on for dear life, hoping to Christ that nobody T-bones him. That's going to open the door for Parker Retzlaff to come down pit road with now 40 laps to go here on 211.
Well, I think Daniel Moynihan stopped underneath that mercy sign.
Yep, Parker's coming.
Here come the
Green's
5 and the
coming.
57. Ron Fitting in the 3. Claude Furlan, Ethan Ball, Mike McConville, Zach Vaughn, Aaron Mack, Brockton Packard, Chris Claude, Brandon Minto, John Wilco, and waiting to see if Sylvain Jolie's going to do it. He's not. Matt Mackin and Daniel Moynihan staying out as well. There's Sylvain. As Retzlaff gets us around here. Now, you know, the question is, and I talked about him earlier, here's Chris Claude, Mr. Consistency out of Fairview, Tennessee. Of course, chief cook and bottle washer in this league. Here's the deal with Chris. This dude is the most consistent driver you're ever going to see. He's more regular than somebody who's on a Metamucil regimen. And he's going to roll off here on pit road and drive the old 10 machine down here, getting around Sylvain. He's going to have a great pit stop coming off of pit road.
Interesting. Looks like we got Retzlaff.
You know, Chris Claude started back in 24th and now sits in the top 10.
I mean, if Chris Claude wasn't regular, he could take Activia.
Parker Retzlaff here in the 5. He comes down for 4 tires and a tank of Go Fast, so obviously we know he can make it to the end. The interesting thing is going to be on fresh tires, what does Parker do?
I think he's just gonna have to drive the crap out of it. He got 46 laps, something like that. Coming to 46 to go.
Speaking of driving the crap out of something, since you had the diarrhea 00 on Thursday night, you talked about a different paint scheme, Alan, for this Thursday in the Racers Elite Cup Series. Do you want to tease that for the fans?
Let's just put it like this, Dave. The team, we're going to Texas, and it's a team that gives you amnesia every fall. Or a stroke. Maybe.
Blue and silver would be the colors that I follow every fall. Right up until about week 3 of football season, and then I decide that I'm darn near suicidal.
I take it.
Casey 757 checking in with his favorite TV shows of the old style here. King of Queens and 2.5 Men. I do love me some Doug and Carrie. I feel like Kevin James is my spirit animal.
I'm more of an Everybody Loves Raymond kind of fan.
I'm more of the Office type of guy.
Yeah, I like The Office pretty well, and Everybody Loves Raymond. My mother she reminds me of the mom from that show.
Now, one show I'm a huge fan of 30 Rock.
I watched bits and pieces of 30 Rock, but I never really got into it.
Well, I mean, Tina Fey. I did have a crush on Tina Fey. Parker Retzlaff, your leader right now on lap 215 to 250. And, you know, 30 Rock in. And, you know, and speaking, you know, you talked about MASH a whole lot. Here in St. Louis, the great PA announcer for the St. Louis Cardinals, John Hewlett, he hosted a show on Channel 11, which is our CW affiliate, or our WB affiliate, depending on if you're 90s or current. It's called Stooge Mania.
Okay.
So Stooge Mania, the Three Stooges, from 11 o'clock. So on Saturday nights, as we come back to Green Flag Racing with Parker Retzlaff on the inside, Austin Green and Parker Retzlaff's going to get the jump down to the final.
Change lines before the start finish. That might be a penalty.
I don't know.
if it's not a penalty, it's as close as you're going to get to a penalty here on lap 216 of 250. 35 to go here in this race at Iowa. Parker Retzlaff leading us back to the start-finish line once again. Claude Ferland running in third position just ahead of Mike McConville and Ethan Ball. They're battling it out here, all but 3 wide, with Brandon Minto putting Aaron Mack the meat in the middle as Minto now slides just behind the 91 of Zachary Vaughn. They're all riding ahead of Brockton Packard in the 63, with John Wilco rounding out the top 10. Chris Claude falling out of the top 10 as he drifts back here. But we're still not done yet, as Retzlaff and Green just laid 2 of the fastest laps of the race down at 23.65 and 23.67, separated by just 200th of a second on the timing line.
For sure. And here we go. Brian Fitting on the outside, hauling his way back into that top 10. 18 spots is where he's up from where he started.
Brandon Minto right now running just over top of Brockton Packard, as we see Packard here from Zafrillis, Florida, getting the 63, all kinds of cranked up here. They're trying to get themselves deeper into the top 10, but it just seems like nobody has anything for Green right now, who's holding off even Claude Ferland by a full second now.
I'm telling you, these 2 guys are the class of the field right now. And it's definitely going to be close.
Well, here, as we're watching Parker Retzlaff there, coming out of the 1-2 complex. And this is the eyeball test, Ashley. Here comes Austin Green. He's going to think about it, but, you know, if you're Claude Ferland, the sands of the hourglass are definitely running out.
Yeah, well, it all depends, because if the 57 and the 5 get to racing, the 43 may have a chance to just stay patient and hit his marks, and they'll come to him instead of him going to them.
I mean,
we'll see how it plays out.
You're not wrong. Here comes Austin Green trying to make, or thinking about the move that he's going to make here. Maybe trying to force the issue to where Parker Retzlaff's going to, you know, make a mistake.
Maybe he's just setting him up a little bit.
Now, Austin Green, of course, another real-life race car driver. He's got 3 starts in the Xfinity Series for Jordan Anderson Racing this season. He ran and finished 7th at Circuit of the Americas, 15th at Portland, and finished 4th at Sonoma. He was not in this past weekend's Iowa race, but he's also got some ARCA Series experience with a race there in Toledo. It's kind of an interesting place to go racing.
Yeah, nice little bull ring, I think.
But he's been running the 32 for Jordan Anderson Racing, and his last race was here at Sonoma with a pair of top 10s. That's pretty good for just running an extremely part-time schedule. Of course, Green ran part-time in the SCCA Trans Am TA2 Pro-Am Series from 21 to 22, driving for SLR. And he earned a best finish of 12th at Watkins Glen in 2022. He also ran that Trans Am Series in 23, driving the 89 for Peterson Racing. He's earned 4 podiums, 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s, and ended the season with a 5th place points finish. And he was excited to return to Peterson Racing for the 24 season, along with running this part-time Xfinity Series schedule. So obviously Austin Green, a very busy driver in the real-life world.
You know, and that's the thing too, is there's a lot, that's the good thing about iRacing, is you get a chance to race against the people that you normally wouldn't get to race against in real life, like the Parker Retzlaffs, the Austin Greens, you know, a lot of the guys that are actually in the industry. And I mean, if you take a look at your Alice Bowmans and those type of those caliber drivers, they all got discovered here on iRacing.
I think we're going to see that a lot more as we move further into the future here, because I mean, what iRacing has done and what they're able to replicate on the sim tracks and of course in the laser scan sim cars is so close to real life that it's almost kind of scary. And you know, we always ask the real life drivers, how does it translate? And many of them say that they feel so much like their real life race cars, as right now looks like it's going to be the 3 car of Ron Fitting running in 10th position just behind the 63 of Brockton Packard. Meanwhile, Parker Retzlaff now with a half-second lead over Austin Green. As we look back here to Zach Vaughn in the 91, he's now being passed by Ron Fitting for P9.
Oh, boy. Down the back straightaway, Ron Fitting in that number 3 car. Getting ready to go to work on Brockton Packard. You know, Dave, to your point about the iRacing, you know, my dad always asked me, he goes, how do you think you would do in a real car since you've been on iRacing? And I told him, the answer is always the same. I said, I think I can jump into an actual car and be able to turn laps.
Yeah, I could turn laps for about 8 seconds before I'd crap myself.
And 19 to go.
That depends on what you decide to drive.
Well, you know, here's the thing. We have so many people in the world that think that they can do what professionals do, whether, you know, you're Monday morning quarterbacking after, you know, a Sunday full of football, or, you know, here I am making decisions saying, you know, Rob Thompson, manager of the Philadelphia Phillies, should do this, that, or the third. Or, you know, you're out here and you're watching Parker Retzlaff come down pit road early, as he did back on lap 16, and here he is leading this race. Who am I to second guess guys that get paid to do this every week?
You're not that guy, pal. But
I mean, he crew chiefs me from the broadcast booth.
Yeah, but I'm no Jeff Hammond. Can I just say that I was nearly a full-grown adult before I realized who Jeff Hammond really was?
Really?
I think you mentioned that once.
You have to understand that, you know, especially the era that we grew up in, that some of these guys on TV and radio to some degree, you know, have always been, at least in our estimation, a TV guy. I saw the very tail end of Darrell Waltrip's driving career, but I wasn't there for the 89, you know, Daytona 500. I wasn't there for a couple of, you know, Winston Cup championship runs. I mean, you know, I knew DW as boogity, 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 not as, you know, hey, I'm strapped into the 4-point harness.
Right.
Oh, boy, the joys of NASCAR back in the 90s. Alexander Gaylor chose his crash.
Got a caution with 14 to go. This might mix some
With
stuff
14
up.
laps to go, let's see what happened with Alexander Gangler here. Oh, he blinked out. Oh, when he reappeared right in front of the 57 of Austin Green.
I mean, when you get off strategy, you put yourself in that kind of predicament.
You know, first of all, that's incredibly frustrating as a driver on the racetrack to have the guy in front of you suddenly, you know, disappear. And then the worst part is now you're trying to estimate where he's going to reappear because he doesn't know that he's blinked away. He can still see the car. You can't, and that's the problem.
That is a huge problem.
It makes it interesting, that's for sure.
Racing's not supposed to be a guessing game.
Well, that's what the crew chiefs get paid the big money for.
Yeah, it's a crew chief, not Miss Cleo. If that car disappears, you can't see that thing without a crystal ball. Retzlaff is coming down pit road. He's going to lead wholesale pit stops here on lap 238. It's going to cycle Aaron Mack and Brandon Minto up to the race lead. This is an interesting decision.
Looks like everybody else behind him, though, has come down to pit road, so it looks like 2 cars have stayed up. judging based off of.
2 cars staying out in the form of Aaron Mack and Brandon Minto. Parker Retzlaff, Austin Green, Mike McConville, Ethan Ball, Brockton Packard. They've all come down pit road. So now there's going to be a bunch of fresh tires behind Aaron Mack. In fact, let's go down here to where Parker and Austin are on pit road as they come off. It was a quick pit stop. Let's see how long those pit stops really were. And it was enough time to make sure that they got all 4 tires bolted onto the car. So on lap 238, they started all over again with fresh tires, and it should be somewhere in and around 10 to go when we go back green flag racing.
It's going to be interesting. Mento better take a sip of Coca-Cola because he's going to need the extra boost.
Now, Minto doesn't drink the Coca-Cola. He drinks the Miller Lite with Uncle Scott.
Okay.
Good old Uncle Scott. Aaron Mack leads the way right now here in the 31. And basically, he and Minto, if they're going to try to hold off Retzlaff and Green, have to make those cars about 6 wide, as we're going to be maybe 9 to go when we go back green flag racing.
Yeah, some guys are better on the defensive and some guys are better on the offensive. So we're going to see who's who right here.
It's like who's who at the Philadelphia Zoo, and the animals are all here getting restless.
I've never been to the Philadelphia Zoo. I've never been there.
The Philadelphia Zoo is actually America's oldest zoo and oldest continually operating zoo. Quite an adventure. Interesting place, right off of Girard Avenue here in the city.
You might have to take a road trip.
Wouldn't be a bad ride for you.
No, Philly's like 2.5 hours.
Oof. Yeah, I couldn't do that one. 2.5 hours just to go to Philadelphia? No. I mean, granted, that's about how long it takes to get to D.C. from here, but that's by train.
Well, I'm at the very bottom of Delaware, and then I gotta go up top, and then go that way.
Yeah, you've got a nice bridge down there. That's the one with the big yellow stanchions in the middle of it, right?
Yeah, that's the St. George's Bridge.
Aaron Mack going to be our race leader. Should be 8 to go, it looks, as drivers getting ready to organize themselves here. At the line, it's going to be 9 to go. The iRacing.com pace car lights go out, so it will be 8 laps to go when we go back green flag racing. Going to be Aaron Mack, Brandon Minto, Parker Retzlaff, Austin Green, Ethan Ball, Claude Furland, Ron Fitting, Chris Claude, Zachary Vaughn, and Nick Hansen. And if Chris Claude wants to get some of those points back that he missed last week being absent from Sonoma, this is the time to go ahead and cut that hay and lay it out in the field and make that money.
It's definitely time to put up or shut up.
This kid gets me, Alan. I think we found a keeper.
I think he does too. Aaron Mack, Brandon Minto on the front row, 2x2 Noah's Ark style. As we get ready to go green, the iRacing.com pace car pulls it off, makes left turn, and wow, Aaron Mack.
Oh, Minto did not go.
He really dogged that restart there with 8 laps to go. Did Aaron Mack. That opened the door for Parker Retzlaff to just literally blow the imaginary doors off of the 31. Now the 57 has to get around him as we work with 8 to go here, coming through turns 3 and 4. Back to the line, 7 there. Aaron Mack being shuffled back to P3. He's got a side view mirror full of Claude Furlan, who looks to the inside. Furlan also on those new tires. So everybody going to easily get past Aaron Mack as we work with 7 laps to go down the back chute.
7 laps to go. Oh, wow.
Driving that thing 10 car lengths deep before he gets off of the throttle.
Once again, Parker Retzlaff, I swear to God these guys are doing this on purpose. Retzlaff lays down a 23.63, and Green lays
We
down a
got a
23.64, and we are under caution with 6 laps to go. That's going to trigger NASCAR overtime. We'll discuss that in just a moment after we see what happened with Rabbi Ben Garrity out of Pittsburgh.
Oh, no.
Watch the 65. He bounces off of the 12. Then Vaughn comes down and just doors him, and
what a
wrecks
shot.
the 65. I guess he's going to need to call his farmer's agent because they've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bump, 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 bump. Yeah, he suffered major engine damage on that crash. His night is done.
Parker Retzlaff going to be our race leader here when we go back green flag racing. Of course, NASCAR overtime going to be in effect, as what that means, folks, is that when the green flag flies, we will race around back to the white flag. If a caution should come out between the waving of the green flag and the white flag, we will rack them, stack them, and do it all over again. If we get back to the white flag, that means that the next flag will end the race, whether it's yellow or checkered. Either way, we're going to find out here in the next few moments who's going to be crowned the race winner here at Iowa Speedway. Dave Regal and Ashley Ellison with you here in the broadcast booth. We're joined by a backdoor extraordinaire, Alan Bergen, who came in to save the day and help me get the old race stream nice and stabilized. So credit to Alan tonight, as he does a lot behind the scenes here at Sim Racing Media that you folks at home generally don't know about. But without him, we'd probably wind up just, hitting the floor. Uncle Scott saying, hang on, Minto, going to be a wild ride. Jack Down Motorsports saying, Philly is a cesspool, and he would drive 10 minutes to get there. As, of course, Jack Down Motorsports located up in Willow Grove, just a short drive away from me here. Pistons, Rods, and Dad Bod saying, come on, Ron Fitting.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
This kid knows exactly. And listen, the best part is nobody knew I was talking. The kid knows.
Hey,
he gets the vibe.
As you say that, 3.97 subscribers away.
So in other words, just a few more, and you're going to finally have to crack open. Well, it's your come to Jesus moment is really what it is. Some people have an altar call. We have last call.
Which, Dave, we'll have to go over how we're going to execute that. Should we hit this number here?
We just need everybody to subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. Make sure that you get here on our mailing list, if you will. It's like the Jehovah's Witnesses. Have you heard the good news of Yuengling beer?
No. Negative.
Triple filtered mountain spring water goes into every bottle of Yuengling brewed in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. It's America's oldest brewery, opened in 1829. Not that I'm trying to get them to sponsor us, but I'll do this for a case of beer a week.
You damn straight. Oh, my bad.
To be fair, I would do it for a Klondike bar.
Especially the Heath flavored one, toffee flavored one. Or
Correct
the
me if
Oreo.
I'm wrong, but was the Choco Taco not supposed to be making a return this year?
It is. It already has in some places.
I haven't found it yet.
I don't know what's happening on my end, but it's stuttering real bad. Like I can hear y'all clear as day.
Parker Retzlaff sitting behind the iRacing.com pace car, whose lights are out as we get ready to go back green flag racing. Parker following that race, that pace car that is down the back chute here, heading toward turn number 3. That means that we'll be going back green flag racing any moment. as we're waiting for the pace car to make that turn down pit road. And yes, I've had the Yingling Hershey's chocolate porter. It was fine. It was good. I got it at the beer distributor literally the day that it was made available. And initially it was only available on draft, so you had to buy a growler in order to get it. And it was fine. It was pretty good, but I know that it's not available outside of Pennsylvania, but I'm a fan of Yingling Premium. 2 laps to go. The popsicle sticks are in the air, and Parker Retzlaff driving away from Austin Green and Claude Ferland. Bennett Allen crashes, and we are going to stay under caution all of a sudden.
Well, Green now gets second.
There's
chance.
Bennett Allen moving Nick Hansen down. Bennett Allen then ricochets back up, gets himself turned right in front of Zach Vaughn, and just noses his way into the wall. I mean, after you run this many laps, how do you not take care of it?
That's just when you're going for broke. And you're trying to get every ounce of grip power out of that race car.
I mean, it's not wrong. Well, guess what, Dave? We're going to re-wreck them and re-stack them once again.
Green better get up on the wheel on the restarts. He was caught sleeping on the last attempt.
Yeah, we talked about it just a moment ago. Of course, the caution came out here before the white flag waved, so that means that we do have to rack, stack, and do it all over again, as it's going to be Retzlaff, Green, and Ferland. 1, 2, 3, they go. It's going to be interesting to see what Claude Ferland does to try to keep himself ahead of Ethan Ball and, in line with Austin Green.
Oh boy, this is going to be real good. As we get ready to go back to green flag, this is why you come down under that 7/8 caution, 10 laps ago, because then now you're sitting high, wide, and handsome on fuel.
As soon as I thought about it, I thought, this is the kind of move, especially when you make the money stop that late in the race, like Parker Retzlaff did. And, that he knows something that we don't.
Yeah, I wonder what he knows. Because I'd love to know.
Maybe when you're 12, son. Maybe when you're 12.
I don't get that reference.
Part of the show, Lou. Part of the show.
He still doesn't get it.
Nope. That's why I'm just sitting here. That's why I'm just sitting here. I'm looking forward to the finish of this race. This is going to be awesome.
Kind of like the Big Bang Theory, whenever they Sheldon and Leonard went to go clean Penny's apartment.
That had to have been horrific. Especially in her pre-Leonard days.
Yeah, there's definitely plenty of used rubbers in there.
Parker Retzlaff sitting behind the iRacing.com pace car. Single file we go as we come down the backstretch. These drivers just kind of waiting for, the cue to go double file as the iRacing.com pace car brings us into turn number 3.
What the hell just happened?
This looks like Sam Boland shows crashed. Or he blinked out. But we're going to get lined up behind the iRacing.com pace car 2x2. Noah's Ark style. 2 of every car.
Heartbreak. What a heartbreak for Green.
In the top 8, in fact, let's look at the top 10. There's 8 Chevrolets, 1 Ford, and 1 Toyota. Take a look at this right here on the left side of your screen, folks. That's not a whole lot of variation between manufacturers.
No,
Nope,
it's
and
not.
it's definitely showing who the dominant manufacturer is today.
Well,
NASCAR overtime in effect here as the iRacing.com pace car peels on down pit road. Parker Retzlaff leads us into the Geico restart zone, drops the hammer, and off we go. 2 laps to go. The popsicle sticks stay in the air, and Parker Retzlaff being challenged now by Claude Ferland. Ethan Ball running in P3 as all of a sudden it looks like they've got Austin Green trapped a couple of laps down, so that's going to be a problem. Caution comes out, and that may be it.
Oh man, I wanted to see this one finish under Green.
Going to look here to see what happened with Chris Claude as Chris just drifted up the racetrack. He looks down to the 31 again, and the 31 just turns and takes him out.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, nonetheless, Parker Retzlaff, still your leader. And still yellow. I think we're going to try it one more time.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting ready for a third attempt. Third time's a charm here, fellas. Maybe this one can finish under Green. I'm looking forward to it. I know the fans are looking forward to it.
Or maybe it's 3 strikes and you're out.
That is also true.
I mean, 3 strikes and you're out, but Nick Hansen has dropped his way all the way up to P4, up 12 spots.
Parker Retzlaff with control of the field. It's going to be Retzlaff, Ferland, Ball, Hansen, Mickelson, your top 5. As they get ready to go double file here, the iRacing.com pace car leading us out of turn number 4, getting ready to double file.
Now, so if you're Claude Ferland, you know, you got to anticipate what Parker's going to do in that Geico restart zone when we come back to green. And it wouldn't surprise me if Parker, you know, right as soon as we get into that restart zone, mashes the gas and takes off.
Well,
if I'm
go ahead.
If I'm the 43, I'm gonna try to beat him to the start. Or wait, no, that's a penalty, ain't it?
Yeah, but here's the thing about this league. Because we use the Geico restart zone, it also forces people to try to watch that lead car come into the zone and just kind of hang out and loiter. Like, if it was me, I'd wait until the very end. Like, I hope it's got a countdown that goes 10, 9, 8, 7, bang, and either your car, oh my God. Either your car explodes or you wind up going to work that day.
Jeez. A little dark humor there for people that at home that don't understand.
Nothing says Happy Monday like, dude, where's my car?
And then...
and then.
No more then.
The iRacing.com pace car coming into turn number 3. Parker Retzlaff with control of the field. pace car looking for his way to get back on there. Of course, it's just as hard, if not worse, for the drivers. I mean, on parade laps, is sure, but on green flags, I can only imagine what I've bought.
I mean, a lot goes through your mind on these restarts. But if you're Parker Retzlaff, you are sitting high, wide, and handsome. They're leading this piece. But I was kind of seeing if Nick Hansen can oombop his way up to the lead. Or at least get on the podium.
I mean, I'd be curious to see if Hansen can fight there. He's going to restart in P4. He's just alongside of Dennis Mickelson. Nick Hansen right now running in P4. Ethan Ball has gotten himself up into the podium neighborhood as the iRacing.com pace car brings us into turn 3.
The lights are out on the iRacing.com pace car.
Parker Retzlaff with control of the field, drops the hammer, and here we go one more time. Popsicle sticks in the air, 2 laps to go.
Claude Ferland on that start. Claude Ferland on that start.
Looks like he spun the tires.
He did. He got really loose.
Loose as a goose, but he hauls it into turn number 3. He's got a rearview mirror full of Claude Ferland and Ethan Ball rolling out of turn 4. The popsicle sticks go down. The white flag is in the air, and we're finally racing back to checkers. Parker Retzlaff, who qualified on the pole, finished 32nd in the real race on Saturday, redeems himself tonight here on Monday Night NASCAR.
They come down into 3 for the final time. Parker Retzlaff is going to take the win here in Iowa.
Parker Retzlaff comes out of turn number 4, crosses the start-finish line, captures the checkered flag, and comes across the line before everybody else. He's going to celebrate with a sideways victory slide.
He's trying to be like SVG. I think he's saying he can do it better.
I bet he practiced that for the real life race.
He's got every right to do what he's doing right now as he celebrates coming around this racetrack. Of course, all of his JAR, TCR teammates are going to celebrate with him here at the start-finish line.
Yeah. Okay, I'll try my best.
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, listen, it's been a great night for you here. I mean, you know, you pick up the win and kind of redeem yourself from what happened in the real world. How did it feel tonight? And obviously that car was dialed in like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it felt really good. I mean, this track was just a blast. I mean, how it moved around, and I went from running the top to the bottom. I mean, I moved around all night. Like, it wasn't one lane I was stuck to, and, I mean, it was just a really good race. Austin was so fast there at the end on short run that I just had to drive as hard as I could to hold him off, and then once we got past lap 15, the car was just dominant, and it's just happy to get a win back in this league, and you know, happy to be back in victory lane.
Yeah, I mean, you and Austin were all but just dancing around one another for lap after lap, it seemed. I mean, you know, one second you were leading, then he would swing around, take that lead away from you. And it was just kind of it was like synchronized swimming, and it was perfectly done by you two guys. I mean, obviously, real world experience pays off here at Iowa tonight, and to me, it was just exciting to watch from start to finish. Before we cut you loose, who do you need to thank and tip your helmet to, and who helps you get it done on the 5 machine?
Yeah, I mean, I just gotta thank everyone that I race with here that are all doing burnouts on the front stretch. I don't race a lot, but always fast when we get in here, and it's just a blast to race these full-length races.
All right, man. Well, listen, thank you once again for your time. Hopefully we get to see you once again in the future. And listen, good luck next weekend when you head on down there to New Hampshire.
Thank you very much.
Alan, I believe next up here on the podium, you should have Claude Furlan with you.
Well, this is Alan and Dave and Ashley in the SRM booth. How's it going, bub? Claude Furlan, you got a copy?
Yes.
Hey, well, first off, congratulations on that the second place finish tonight.
Hey, thank you.
Man, do you think there could have been anything differently you could have done to maybe catch Parker there on the last restart?
Oh yes, the last restart is very tight. I watched my start, and I think I have 3 good start for stay on the second place.
Yeah, look, so, first of all, you drove a master class, all night long. A lot of give, a lot of take. So what was your secret of getting around here on the Iowa Speedway here?
Oh, my secret is I stay clean all the time, and this season I have a very bad season. This time tonight I'm very happy for my race. I don't have a secret.
Well, look, man, next week we go to New Hampshire. What's your expectations as we move to the Granite State?
Oh, New Hampshire is not very. It's not my my favorite track, but I think I have a top 5, top 6. I think yes.
All right, Claude. Before we get you out of here, is there anybody that you'd like to think that helped you get here? That helps get here tonight.
I don't know. Thank you for my sponsor, Accent LED Sylvain Joly, very good partner with Gabriel Lapreneuil, very good driver too.
All right, Claude. We'll see you next Monday night in New Hampshire. You have a good week and be safe, buddy.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, you too.
And that was your second place finisher, Claude Furlan. And Ashley, we are going to go ahead and get Ethan Ball up here for you.
Mr. Ethan Ball, this is Ashley, Dave, and Alan up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you loud and clear.
Alrighty, cool deal, man. Interesting night to say the least. You come home with a 3rd place finish. Looked like you were able to stay clean and keep your nose out of trouble to get there. What's your secret?
Oh, man, I don't know if I have a secret other than Parker Retzloff gives some awesome tips for how to get around this place. No, it was a wild start to the race. I thought for sure the cautions just weren't going to let up there in stage 1. It seemed like they were just one after another. But after, it settled out, we had some good long runs, and I felt like the car had a lot of long run speed, just needed to get the track position. And there towards the end of stage 2, we got up there, and I didn't think we had enough speed to go win. And then late in one of the runs, started calling the lap times for the leader, and I realized we were close. So we just tried to keep our nose clean and made it through to the end.
What was the tire wear like tonight? After that long green flag run?
It wasn't awful. I definitely was burning my stuff up earlier in the race, like stage 1. I think I was down to like 67 maybe on the right front, and then like the next time we pitted, I was like 79 on the right front, and then the last long run I was in the 80s. So progressively was just backing it off the right front, trying to grab it off the right rear. But you know, it's that's what I love about this league and these long races. You can really adjust your driving style and find a few tenths here and there, and having a NASCAR Xfinity driver in your ear doesn't hurt anything whatsoever. So Parker helped me out a lot. Mike with the incredible setups, put us up there. So a lot of good things happened tonight. We're pleased with a P3. Only our second top 5 of the year, and we're points racing. So we'll take it, and we'll move on to New Hampshire.
Are you looking forward to New Hampshire?
Not really, if I'm being 100% honest with you. Not a huge fan of the Magic Mile up there in Loudon, New Hampshire, but I know Mike will build a solid setup, and if Parker could be busy or something, we might actually have a shot at one of these things. So we'll have to wait and see. But no, to be completely honest with you, not really looking forward to New Hampshire.
Alrighty. Well, before I cut you loose here, do you have anybody that you need to thank?
Yeah, man, I got to thank Lenders. Go on the App Store, download Lenders, Lindrs. If you need a tool and you don't have it, don't go buy it. Go see if one of your neighbors has it for lease up on Lenders. And if you have some tools sitting around collecting dust, go ahead and throw them up on Lenders too, and you can make a little side money. And all the TCR jar teammates I got here, Parker, Austin Green for coming out too. I hate that, his race ended the way it did, but first time out, he's got to realize that we take it super serious. So other than that, just got to thank everybody for watching and for supporting us, and hopefully we'll be back up here soon.
Alrighty, man. Well, good luck next weekend. We'll see you in Michigan.
Thanks, guys.
Well, boys, another one here in the books in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series right here on Sim Racing Media. And, of course, a fantastic night for Ashley as he makes his debut here on our airwaves. Of course, getting to see Parker Retzlaff redeem himself from a rough weekend in Iowa. He gets to do it the real way here on the virtual track, that is, as he and his teammates are still celebrating on the infield just below the flag stand. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in. And before we get out of here, of course, we do have to take one final look at our results from tonight. We'll pull that up right here. There it is. Everything wanted to work a little bit slowly there. Parker Retzlaff brings home the checkered flag here, and he is followed on the podium by Claude Ferland and Ethan Ball. Nick Hansen and Dennis Mickelson round out your top 5, while Mike McConville finishes in 6th position. 7th goes to Ron Fitting, with Brockton Packard coming home in 8th, and Brandon Minto and John Wilco out of McAdoo, Pennsylvania, finishes out your top 10. Steve Herring and Sylvain Joe Lee come home in 11th and 12th, with 13th going to Keith Black. Aaron Mack finishes 14th, with Sam Bolin and Tony Burke coming home in 15th and 16th. Daniel Moynihan and Matt Mackin come home 17th and 18th, while 19th goes to Eugenio Alonso. 20th and rounding out your top 20 is Alexander Gangler in the 8 machine, with 21st going to Randall Watkins, Mr. 305, just ahead of Chief Cook and Bottle Washer Chris Claude, finishing in 22nd. Zachary Vaughn finishes 23rd, with Austin Green and Bennett Allen in 24th and 25th. 26th position goes to Rich Jett, with Ben Garrity and Will Young in 27th and 28th. All the while, Logan Giesbrecht and Corey Burkett finished 29th and 30th. Anthony Savignano comes home in 31st, with Zach Osborne in 32nd. Noah Hamilton 33rd, while Bobby Blazer, Diego Rodriguez, Gabriel Lafreniere, Richard Pruitt, and Michael Witt make up the 38 drivers who took the green flag tonight. So, folks, want to thank everybody for tuning in with us tonight, welcoming us into your homes, onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. We want to thank you for making us a part of your evening. And tomorrow and every day as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.